Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I hope y'all can hear me because we're trying something new here. Welcome to the Gaming Circle podcast for 2022. If you can hear me, let's see some responses in the chat. Yes. We are back doing it once more. We are so happy to be back, getting back to what we love doing. And of course, I am your host, Mr. K. Asante. You know me, Twitter's all those places. We'll get to all of that. But of course, I'm once again being joined by my brother from another mother, my evil twin, the man who, for some reason, still continues to be on this journey with me, my podcasting partner, Mr. Everborn Saga. What's going on, good sir? How you doing today?
Yeah, I am like Kay Asante with less of a beard, but I'm working on that. It's coming. It's coming.
It's not that big a deal, bro. Let me tell you that this is hard to maintain. So I'm happy. I wish I had more of your problem. It is what it is.
Okay.
But yes.
Listen, as we become middle-aged men, you'll learn very quickly that as your hair starts to go on the head, you better have some more on the face.
Oh, bro, it is straight up what's happening to me at this point. I used to grow locks, and I cut them a while ago, and now I have the beard situation seems to be continuing while the locks are not so much anymore. So it is what it is.
This is what I'm saying. At a certain point, you just go for the Rick Ross, the baldy with
and
the
that's what's slowly happening. Slowly,
and you know.
That's what's gonna happen. Yes. So, welcome, folks. For those who can see and hear us, we appreciate you joining. We appreciate you checking out the first episode of 2022. As you can see, we have a little bit of upgrade situations going on here. I will warn you now.
When you said that, I thought about Neo from The Matrix and Reloaded.
Yes, we have some upgrades.
Upgrades.
That's right. I will warn you now. We're slowly but surely transitioning into the goodness that is the new Gaming Circle podcast. So I am for the first time, even after 32 episodes, this is the first episode where I'm running it all me and myself and I on this machine right here. So I'm a little nervous. We'll see how this goes. And also moving forward, you as we grow and as we transition and you see we're doing more with it, you will definitely see that we'll add more to it. As will also happen with On the Reel, which I'm sure we'll get to that at some point in this episode and letting folks know where that will be about. But
I want to take a little bit of time when we get a chance after you finish this intro stuff.
No, go ahead.
I want to talk about some of the tech here that we changed up for the show.
Yeah, bro.
I think it's I think it'll be interesting for people. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I
appreciate that. No. We'll definitely get into that. We'll definitely get into that. But I just wanted to let people know what I wanted to take a moment and talk about what all the stuff we missed. Where. Yeah.
I see that comment from from Wolfpack.
Yes. What's going on, Jay Mo Money? Welcome, sir. It's gonna be one of those episodes already, right? Anyway, so yeah, man. So I wanted to, give you a chance to talk about, before we get into all this gaming stuff, what have you been doing over the break? What did you do? How has the break treated you? Christmas, family, the whole nine. New Year's, what's going on?
Other than the whole family catching the Omarion, but we're good. We're good. I'm getting ready to get my booster. Getting ready the Pfizer 2 shots. Yep. Getting ready to get the booster.
Mm-hmm. I got mine a couple weeks ago. A week ago. Yeah. Just so you know, it'll knock you out a little. Just so you're aware.
Of course.
You'll be down for the count for possibly a day or two.
My youngest finally got hers because she's just about 12 in a couple of days, so they let it go.
Cool.
So we'll see. That was this morning, so we'll see how that plays out for her.
Good stuff.
I think maybe on Tuesday I'm gonna go get my booster because we're going to Paris in February. So there's been a lot of getting ready for that. So we've been off for a little while, but the last game I really played.
Well, we'll get into the games we're playing in a minute. But I know. I want to know about Halo, you, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. So okay, I just turned 40 last month.
Happy birthday
Um,
again. Yes, I turned 41, but we'll
Thank you,
keep it
sir.
moving real quick. Continue.
Yeah, yeah. Christmas
Yeah,
Day, Christmas
yeah.
Day.
What are you gonna do?
Um, but then we finished the Kickstarter, so
Mm-hmm.
now we're into lettering the book, and I'm trying to integrate the characters because we have certain tiers of every Kickstarter for sort of okay, you get to appear in the book, so I got to work out those characters and how to bring them into the story. Um, and we do that sort of by repurposing characters that haven't appeared yet. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we change the story up. It's just like now that character that we already had in mind has a likeness of somebody who supported that
Oh,
executive
that's
producer
cool.
tier.
That's real
So
cool.
there's that. And I've been doing a lot of writing because, like, right now, I have to, because of all the podcasting and trying to stay ahead in gaming. My artists have caught up to me on most of my scripts.
Mm.
So I've been taking this month to write for the year, basically, right? Because it takes 6 months to produce a comic. We have 4 series, so I gotta have at least 3-4 chapters worth of content ready, so that I don't have artists waiting for scripts to do pages. So that's what I'm kind of taking this month to do. And I made the mistake of after being away from Spaces for a month,
Mm-hmm.
going into Twitter Spaces yesterday, and all hell
Mm.
broke loose.
Mm.
And it reminded me why
Why
I
you shouldn't
stopped
go into
going in there.
spaces? Yeah.
Right.
Indeed. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna
Mm.
slap on a wrist.
Indeed. Indeed.
I'm gonna try to stop that again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just, February is I think when Elden Ring happens, when I'm trying to get back into it. And the reason I'm telling you why I'm interested in Elden Ring sort of
Mm.
more than a lot of the other stuff coming up recently, because it's a hard fantasy game, and I think I can get a lot of
George R.
inspiration
R.
for
Martin Hard.
the this yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully he'll actually finish the game. You're right. Like you don't get to the third act of the game, and then there's no
So
more.
far, from what I
Uh,
can tell, he just named the characters and kept it moving. So it seems.
hey man, no, he helped with the lore though, right?
Okay. Well, I don't know. That's what's
So
being said. But everything we've seen so far, it's all about John of Triton and all this stuff, and that's all you get. And they keep it moving. I'm like, okay, But hey, hopefully the story is more coherent because let's be honest, From Software games, their stories have not been the most straightforward up until this point. So I am looking forward to checking it out though.
oh, I just so everybody here, if you supported the Kickstarter, the way we are progressing, and this like could change, but like we are a good ways into lettering the book. I may be able to get everyone their books in February instead of March,
Nice.
which is a good thing. And we are just finishing up the next book we're getting ready to release. At least we're finishing the inks, and colors are being worked on as we speak. I think we colored the first 20 pages. It's going to be like 60 pages. So that we'll announce that soon, because I don't like to announce the books until all that's left to do is lettering. So we have a cover, inks are almost done. And when coloring's done, then we'll announce when we're going to release it, or if we're going to do another Kickstarter. We'll see what happens. That'll be March, April-ish. We should be done with that one. And then it's on the Prince of Arcadia 5. I know people are waiting that in Ariel's Adventure Chapter 2. So
I'm waiting
big
for the
things
novel,
happening.
bro. I'm waiting for the novel.
Well, that's actually launching with the next book. Now, one other thing I do want to say, I want to bring highlight to this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Black Sands.
Yes,
that
yes.
series,
Speak on that.
Manuel
Yes, for
Gajoy.
sure.
So he's a longtime friend and mentor of mine, and he sort of does what I do, but further along in the journey. And he's been producing his Black Sands series for maybe a few years now, at least since 2017, but probably before that. But he and I met in 2017, and he has always been sort of the out in front, making a business of this whole creator thing. And he had already raised from the community. He'd raised over $1 million just, selling parts of his company, but
Nice.
he was able to secure a spot on Shark Tank, and Kevin Hart and Mark Cuban invested in his business, because right now, and I just want to explain this for any of the content creators out there that will be out there, right? If you have a story to tell that story, and I'll tell you why I think that Shark Tank deal went the way it did. Here's the thing. We know comic book movies are big business, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You can't greenlight a film or a TV project right now unless it's rooted in some kind of book or comic book or some sort of source material.
Some kind of tested focus grouped by the community. Hey, people like it already.
Everything that the Matrix Resurrections tried to tell us about, right?
Yes, that's
right. Yeah. So again, so there's that. The problem is everything's bought up. Disney owns Marvel, Warner Brothers owns DC, Tencent just bought Dark Horse. So before you know it, Image will be bought up, but that's all independently owned. So I don't know if you can actually buy that and get all that IP. But the point is, Netflix bought the Millarverse. So right now,
the group is out there, moving and shaking, elbowing.
Right. So so right now, there's no more comic IP left to buy, so they have to look into the independent space.
Go into the indie space,
right?
That's right.
Right, and with the audience that he has been able to build, and the movement he sort of has been able to create, and the valuation of the company that he already had before even stepping onto the shores of Shark Tank, that was a no-brainer deal. And I think now with Kevin Hart attached, and Mark Cuban for the technology piece, because that was his other thing. He created an app to compete with Webtoons for sort of Black and creators that maybe didn't have access in that way. So I guess Mark Cuban helps with that piece. Kevin Hart helps, getting him into the room with the IP, with the Hollywood dudes, to make it, that the next Arcane or, the next Pixar thing. And I think it's huge. It's a huge deal, and it gave me even more motivation. I just wanted to shout out Manuel, because.
So when we planning on seeing Mr. Everborn Saga and the Everborn Saga on Shark Tank? I'm just saying, if that's a possibility now.
No, this is what I'm saying. He is just a little. Is it Tencent or Embracer Group that bought Dark Horse? I think it was Embracer Group.
Embracer Group, the company that I brought up that you keep clowning. But let's continue.
Okay, but hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Isn't Embracer Group inbred with Tencent?
No.
They're not.
No,
okay,
no.
So then Embracer Group is what I meant to say, not Tencent owning Dark Horse.
Embracer Group, yeah.
The
company that I keep bringing up that you keep clowning. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Trash. Trash.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, so the thing is, and he has been mentoring creators like myself, not just me, for years before this moment happened, because that's sort of what it's about for him. So I did want to give him a shout out, and also say that just shows, if you have an idea, don't leave it in your head. Don't leave it notes in a notepad. Put it out there into the world. Yeah. Push forward, because now you are seeing where you can go. That is somebody who did all of that himself up until this point, right? So you can really do it. And
from it.
Yeah, right. And I've always looked at him.
Didn't I see him I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
No. The last thing I was going to say, I've always looked at him as further down the same path that I was trying to travel. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of sort of a trailblazer, right? But it does show where independent IP and even if you've read any of the Everborn stuff, like, we try to do like highest quality so that we match whatever you're seeing out there from the industry, and I learned that from him. Right, so we don't say, oh, this is indie, so it has to not have the best art and colors. No, we are going to stand toe to toe with any of the stuff out there.
Now,
and
to bring this
and don't
back
be
around to
shy about it.
gaming,
So yes,
didn't I also see him dropping little like, "Hey, so what do y'all think about Xbox after all this happened?" Didn't I see him
I
just a
don't want
little
to
bit, little
I don't want to
videos?
speak.
I'm not speaking.
Yes, I don't want to
You
speak
didn't
on
say
that
anything to
yet.
me. I'm just saying I saw Black Sands on Twitter with a video going, "How do y'all feel about Xbox?" All of this stuff, and I'm just like, you just got your characters and your world in front of multi-billion-dollar organizations, and now you're talking to me about Xbox. But we'll keep that moving real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So congratulations to him, for real, for real. I'm quite
One hundred
excited to see
percent.
where this space grows.
100% deserves it.
Yeah,
100% put in the work before anybody heard about him.
yeah,
And the idea, even if the deal didn't happen, and it did, but even if it didn't happen, to be on ABC in
yeah,
front of
yeah.
millions
Oh
of
yeah,
people with that IP, huge. And that's before we even get to the deal
most definitely.
where
Yeah,
Mark, with the battery from Mark Cuban and Kevin Hart. It's a big deal, and it is definitely fuel for the Everborn saga. So I just
indeed,
wanted to shout
indeed.
out
So
Mr. Merrill.
okay. Before we continue, like as for me, real quick, just a bit at the top for those who are here. I appreciate y'all being here. I see Mr. Joanna Dark is in here. J Rock is in here. Appreciate you, good sir. I just see Big Mad Mo just jumped in, and Beast Mo just jumped in here. Thank you guys so much for checking us out once again. This is the Gaming Circle podcast for 2022. We're trying to do it a little bit different. We're trying to do some upgrades here and there, and we're trying to play a bit more in this space that we have not up until now. Before we move on, I will say I do want to like we did on the very first episode. It was myself and Mr. Everborn, and obviously a lot of guests have come and gone, and a lot of guests will be brought back on, and new guests, new voices will be brought on in this year. But one of the first people that actually was gracious enough to join us at the time when we had very few followers, very few folks. Oh, and I see Wandering Dutch in here. Salute to you, good sir. He has been instrumental in our upgrade process. So thank you again, big man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. So one of the first guests that was actually able to grace our virtual stage here and was very gracious with his time, and we had a great conversation, was the man Optimus Code, right? And we've obviously everybody knows him. He is infamous in many circles, right? We heard recently, not too long ago, that he had some issues, some health issues. He was dealing with some unknown issues. Some updates have come out, and he has been diagnosed with what is it? The CJD? What is it? Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease. It's one of these neurological conditions that so far unfortunately is untreatable, and it degrades your mental cognizance, and eventually leads to, and it's something, it's very rare, but it is common in folks that are a little elder in age, 60s and plus, and all of that. So that's where he is right now. I have seen some updates come out from his family. He's out there on Twitter from time to time. Salute to him and his family. We wish him all the best, and we hope that somehow we are still able to see him and have him be out here arguing with us like he does. If you happen to catch him online, send him some love. All this gaming, the discourse we do is for fun and games, but he's going through some real life issues. So I wanted to shout him out because he was one of the first to ever actually be here on our stage, and we really appreciated that he did that, and we're thinking of him in this time. Everborn, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, and I will always remind people of this when I sort of entered the sort of the Twitter gaming community. Code, before I was anybody, before I had any followers, was one of the people, and at that time he had 9,000-10,000 followers. He was one of the people that interacted with me to even get me on the radar for other people to see me, to get wherever we are today. So and he's always been like that. Very sort of open arms in embracing when a lot of other people wouldn't respond to my comments in their threads. Code would,
Yeah.
and it was always respectful as a human being. And again, like person to person, human being, human respect, that has never, and nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody can point to um, Code and say that man disrespected me as a human. And if, anybody that's upset about these billion and trillion dollar corporations, like Microsoft and Sony don't care about you. So if somebody's saying something about them, even if it's not true or trolling, who cares? Right? And that's the difference when you are in these fake Twitter streets, that people can't separate that from their identity, right? This is a corporation. Who cares if somebody makes fun of it? So I've always considered, and even when we had misunderstandings talking about these billion and trillion dollar corporations, Code gave me his number. Just call me on the phone if you confused. So I've never had a problem with Code. Yeah. Never, and I'm.
He is wrong on most things,
hear...
and I disagree with him vigorously on most things. But he's entertaining. He's fun to talk to. He knows this is all about fun and games, And yes, he rubs some people the wrong way, but as you're saying, person to person, human to human, he's a decent individual, and we should keep him in our thoughts, because you don't want this stuff to happen to anybody. And unfortunately, it's happening to our brother. So I felt the need to at least at the top bring that up, because he helped us in many ways get to where we are today, by getting more folks to see us and pay attention to our little community here. So, if you happen to see him online, go ahead. Yeah.
In these Twitter streets, one of the first people to kind of retweet, hey, this Everborn thing is something, the comics, right? One of the first people to buy it, retweet, I bought this thing. And that, people don't have to do those things.
Yeah.
And he did it. And this is why I say, I don't care what anybody says about a corporation. Human to human, person to person.
Yeah. I
don't know anybody that could say like he disrespected me personally as a man, as a woman.
No, I hear you. 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. You're absolutely right. So yeah. And speaking of people who put us on their backs and led us to greatness, as great as we are today.
Boom!
Shout out to the Double Barrel Gaming himself, Mr. Boomstick. Thank you, sir, for coming checking us out. Boom. Welcome. So yes. So again,
I see Pixelbit G and
we see Pixel in here. Also. A bunch of folks already pulling up. We really appreciate it. So again, we are here. We're doing it different, a little different this time. We'll get to the gaming stuff, but yes, we chose to switch up the game a little bit, do this a bit more manual as we're doing it right now. It's a little nerve-wracking because I could accidentally press a button and screw this whole damn thing up. But we did that because now you can watch us.
Might still happen.
Might still happen, yes. And if it does, this will be the infamous episode, right? We did this so we have a bit more flexibility. You will now, I'm slowly but surely working on getting all of our shows. Actually, right now, if you happen to go on Spotify, you'll be able to catch a bunch of our we'll be able to catch a bunch of our past episodes, our archive episodes, on Spotify right now as an audio-only podcast. Yeah, they're trying to make me laugh. As an audio-only podcast, we're working to eventually get that to the Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, all of your podcast services. So that's in the works as well, right? You can watch us now on YouTube in glorious 1080p versus the 720 we used to be at. Yes, sir.
Speaking of that, I want to hear what the fine viewers think of the new design.
Yes, please. The new logo we have on this side, right? This side. Yes, that's our new logo. I'll be switching it up, changing it up from time to time. You'll see it at the beginning. You'll see it at the end. We're doing a bit more animation. We're just trying to make it a little cooler. And actually, on that note, another reason why we transitioned to this way is, in addition to the great 1080p, we can now do transitions like this one. Bam, and here we are in the gaming in the gaming section of it. So we can start talking about the games we've been playing.
We will do that. But the technology. So we moved over to OBS.
Yes.
From StreamYard, and we're using Skype to sort of pipe in the video, and it still works by sending a link, but it gives us control to be able to do things like this and set up these transition shots. And this is not even done. You're seeing this
This is entry level, the floor. This is the floor. As we learn and we get better, we will definitely put more into it. You'll see a lot more of the interactivity of the stream and everything else will pop up. Stuff like this. Hit that like button. All of that cool stuff that we'll be doing. So yes, indeed.
Kind of creepy saying that, but yeah.
Well, you see the interaction on the screen. It is what it is, and of course, we now must be mindful because we have the potential of having audio listeners. Because as I said, this is going to go out to the wider audience. So we appreciate any creative criticism, feedback. As y'all know, for those who've been leaving messages on here, you leave us messages, we always respond. We respond back to you. So tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what we should do better or change up. We're always open to that. So let us transition a bit more.
We're gonna also pipe in the chat so we can highlight stuff.
Yes,
we
will
won't be
happen.
able to highlight things highlight the chats on the screen right now because we're still trying to configure that. But we will. And the good news is I'm letting Mr. Kayasante take.
Yeah, you let me handle all the hard stuff, so you could just be smooth from day one.
When we figure this out, On the Reel just comes back looking fresh and clean.
Of course. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate that. But yes. Let us transition into the games we've been playing.
Maybe we gotta talk to Boom about this. Maybe we get
about
Boom
upgrades
on OBS.
I've talked to Boom, but Boom knows definitely how nerve-wracking and somewhat turbulent this is sometimes. So he just went the easy route, which I can't blame him because this is a little bit nerve-wracking.
Well, no. So here's the thing. This is another thing to understand for all the streamers in the chat, right? With OBS, you kind of do that setup one time, and that's the difficult part.
Good.
But after that, it's really plug and play, right? You hey, here's a link. Come to the Skype conversation, and now you're working like StreamYards. But you do that initial setup, and those settings are the things you got to walk through, sort of step by step. So.
So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But we're transitioning into the games we've been playing, and I will start with this game because we had some conversations about this game.
Fake
Stop
Sonic.
it. Remember, we are PG-13 on this podcast.
Oh,
Be nice.
I'm sorry.
Nice.
This fake behind Sonic.
Yeah. This ninja has no respect. Anyway, so I found this game on the internet, as you do, right? And I was like, oh wow! And this has been out for a while. This is, I think, and I will put some of the. Just stop the hate.
Okay.
Before you hate,
I want to talk
before
about...
you hate.
Okay.
No.
Before
you hate, this is a single Brazilian developer who loves Sonic so much that he has a whole plethora of 2D Sonics that he made by himself, and by all accounts, reviews are like glowing about it. And he has a first and a second version of this game, and I think this is like Spark. It's called Spark. Electric Spark is what it's called, and it's been out for a while. You can get like 1 and 2 on the console, on various consoles, and part 3 is coming out soon. So when this was brought to my attention, I was like, oh, let me check this out, and I happened to see that Spark 3, the demo, was on Steam. So what you're watching is me playing this from Steam. You can continue. Go ahead. Go ahead and slander. Go ahead and slander a single developer with a love for Sonic that equals yours. Actually, I would say his love for Sonic dwarfs yours because he actually made his own version of it.
Cool.
So go ahead.
I'm not mad at him. More power to him. I hope this game sells 1 million copies. This is not about him right now, sir. This is about you and what you said.
I said this is Sonic done right.
This game. Come on, man.
No, do you know the reason why I said that? What you're seeing,
man.
obviously, it's janky. It's a single developer. It's one dude who did what all of Team Sonic does, which is a corporation that's worth millions of dollars. Okay, if one dude can even come this close, it is worth commending. Okay, one dude. His music is good.
Absolutely, but that's not what we're talking about.
But my point is, the reason why I said that, and you don't see it here, obviously, but there are some levels here where he uses these mechanics in a very creative way, more creative than I'll say the recent iterations of Sonic have done.
Right implies that Sonic has always been done wrong.
Oh, here we go.
and you just took any opportunity, like you always do, to try to throw Sonic under the bus because you don't understand.
And let's be clear here. Let's
do
be
you
clear,
remember the
people.
link that I sent you in the DM?
Yes.
The screenshot in the DM for Sonic
Let's be
Boom,
clear, people.
How that game has 100 million downloads just on Android.
This is me literally just throwing arrows at Everborn because I know it triggers. I love Sonic. That's why I'm actually playing a game that's Sonic-like. Right? He doesn't even want to play this game. I think this is a very...
You ruined it. You ruined it because you called it Sonic done right. And
I think this is a very good rendition of Sonic, but I love throwing arrows at this man because he just gets triggered, and it's just nothing but entertainment. So yes, if you get a chance to, seek out this game. It is actually very entertaining, very fun.
I want you to know that you lost this developer a sale because of your tomfoolery.
But you know what? And what I actually was so impressed about is he was able to make his own little what was it? Open zone, if you will. Like in this game, in this demo, there's a part where you can go anywhere you want. The objective is to collect certain rings, and it's like a whole little city that you can traverse in multiple ways. It's very interesting.
You see how you're using the open zone terminology? Guess what?
No, I said that for you.
Because now when Sonic Frontiers comes out,
it'll be a copy
blows
of this,
everybody
right?
away. Now I'm gonna have to make the comparison to this. And now you gonna make me do that to this dev who put in all this hard work.
This is like you comparing the Everborn game to Mario. That's not fair. Come on now.
Okay,
that's not fair.
Hold on. But here's the difference though. I will do that, right? And then
it's not a good comparison to make. Come on now.
No, I will. Just like I told you before, when I do the Everborn comics, I compare that to big $1 million franchises. I will compare my 2D platformer to the best 2D platformers out there. That's the thing I will do. Okay. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, I will do that. That being said, right?
Ooh,
you
Victor
made
Allenstein out here just like, he says it looks better than.
See, you see what I'm talking about?
Just
you
out
see what
there.
you started,
now he may have lost the Everborn sale, but we know we got Victor Allenstein. I saw Mr. Boomstick right now going, I'm going to download the older 2 games right now. Boom, my friend.
Okay. What? So now what's going to happen now? Now when Frontiers comes out, you made this comparison. You made it. You started it. You said Sonic done right. You could have said it's a great indie game.
It is a good indie game.
Sonic done right. Now the comparison has to be made. Don't get mad at me for what happens next. That's all I'm saying.
Look, all I'm saying is this: for a company who has such a great IP, and we can all agree,
Sonic
we can
Frontiers
all
Game of the
agree
Year 2022.
We can all agree that Sonic is a great IP, right? But many of the iterations that have come since have been kind of lackluster. It's been kind of like, whatever, like, what are we doing here? And this dude took this idea. Clearly, he doesn't make a lot of money out of it because not a lot of people have heard of it. But he has come out with some very interesting ideas. Like this level right here, I thought was very interesting. The whole level is in the cloud, and you have to literally depend on striking your enemies right. Otherwise, you fall to your death immediately. I've never seen that in a Sonic game. Even though that gameplay element is very interesting, he really thought about what those gameplay elements were and used it in the traversal of the actual, like, moment to moment, the world. He did some interesting things that Sonic did not do.
Oh my God, Wolfpack! You see this nonsense?
You know, we're just here throwing arrows, bro. We're here we know how much you hate this, so we're going to just throw some arrows.
So hold on a minute. Now, to Doovy's point, he says Sonic is greater than Mario, or Mario greater than Sonic. Mario has had much better games than Sonic.
Yeah, Mario has been allowed to be fully realized versus
as
Sonic.
A character, Sonic is better.
I agree.
Right?
I 100% agree.
Right?
I think that Sonic has the potential
Sonic
to be cooler.
At least Sonic is not chasing after some princess who's
he ain't
clearly sleeping with Bowser.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. And then don't get nothing in the end.
You know, he's in the friend zone, but he doesn't take
Mario
the hint.
Odyssey for a minute. He ran all around the world, putting on all these stupid hats, getting a ship, going all the way to the moon to save her. What does she
Yep.
do?
She
Takes
broke
the ship
out.
that you upgraded the whole time
She
and
broke
left
out.
him on the moon.
That's right. See,
What
you're missing the gameplay element. See, look what I'm talking about.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Before we get to that gameplay,
Uh-huh.
that would never happen to Sonic.
True, because Sonic is
That
always the
would
coolest dude
never
in every
happen to
room.
Sonic.
Yes, that is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Let's be
yes.
clear.
I'll give you
we
that.
understand that. Okay.
I'll give you that. Sonic
All right.
potentially
I'm
is
good.
a cooler
I'm
character.
good now. I'm done.
Yes. Well, but you know
I'm
why
for that
Sonic
stuff.
is a cooler character? Sonic is a cooler character because when Mario was literally taking over the world, you had Sega going, "Come on now, we could do better than this," and took the idea of Mario and went, "Let's do better." You know, whenever you see the existing
I don't
and you
know
do
that
better,
It was.
Mhm.
So I did.
that's like Naughty Dog looking at Tomb Raider and going, "We could do better," and Uncharted it, which obviously when you have the benefit of an existing IP, when you have the benefit of existing IP, you can sit there and like cultivate your own to kind of better. Whereas Mario was created out of a vacuum. They weren't trying to outdo anybody, right? They weren't trying to outdo anybody.
I don't know if Mario was like the first 2D platformer.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying it wasn't made to compete literally. But okay, continue.
So in terms of 2D platformers, to me, Sonic saw Mario and was the first one not to just straight up swagger jack,
copy him,
and do something different,
do something more innovative. Exactly.
Right. So it's not even like we're gonna be like Mario. Sonic was the only 2D platformer that was nothing like Mario, and that's why that one worked when none of the other ones did. Because there was a thing at that time. Everybody had to have their mascot 2D platformer, just like how everybody has to have a first-person shooter now. Everybody had to do that. You need some kind of, and for some reason after Sonic, everybody had to have a rodent to be, it was like. Remember, what was the one with the dirty cat? What was that guy's name?
Dirty cat.
Oh no, I gotta look this up now.
Yes,
it was a cat. He was a cat, and it was
you got me intrigued now. Dirty cat, huh?
Okay,
interesting. Oh, and by the way, here's the open zone. By the way, check this out. Whole world, you can traverse it any which way you want. It's basically like set up to go any way you want, and you're supposed to you're there to capture X amount of specific kind of coins. There's no racetrack. There's no way forward. It's not huge. It's one little contained space, but you can go anywhere you want, and you can traverse. There are hidden places to go. A single developer made this, took this idea, and the music is good. Like, bro, it deserves some respect. That's all I'm saying. Slander aside, that's all I'm saying. This thing deserves a bit of respect. All right. So anyway, yes, you were saying the dirty cat. Are you still looking him up and trying to find him?
Okay, so hold on. We had Rocket Knight Adventures.
Yeah, right? Yeah, true. Rocket Knight was great.
I don't know what Hetty was.
Hetty, I'm not
you
sure.
Had you had Rystar.
Rystar.
What is this? Let's see.
All characters that have nothing to do with these guys, because these guys were kings among men. None of them came close.
Well, hold on. I mean, Rocket Knight Adventures got done dirty, but other than that, I agree. All right, let's see. I'm gonna find him. All right, go ahead. I will find it.
No worries. So as y'all see, this is the game I've actually put more time in this game than I actually thought I would initially, because I thought it was Toe Jam and Earl. You know, they made a newer version of that like a couple years ago. It is what it is back then, but you shouldn't expect that to compete like at a large level. Like, I don't know. It was a quirky little weird thing that came and went. I don't know.
Remember when they made from Pepsi the red circle from Pepsi?
Oh yeah, the red dot and the cool spot from. Yes, I played all of those games. Those were great. Those are absolutely fantastic. You're absolutely right. Yes. So yes, as we continue the conversation, you'll see some other games I played. I actually went back into the backlog a bit. I've been playing through Splinter Cell Conviction, which people give that game a bit of a bad rap because it's not as Splinter Cell-y as the OG Splinter Cells were. It's not as stealth heavy as it used to be. You can literally be stealth, and then when you get caught or whatever, you can get yourself out of there by by actually guns blazing and whatnot, which I personally liked. I like the way that level of Splinter Cell happened. I like what do you call them, stealth heavy games, but I hate games that stop you right when the stealth stuff stops. Right? Oh, you got caught. Try again. I don't like that. I want you to be able to, shoot somebody, get out the way, hide, and then reestablish the stealth elements again, right? And I think Conviction did that well. The story is absolutely fantastic. It's very much Jason Bourne-esque kind of a situation. So yes, as we continue the conversation, you will see more gameplay from some of the.
And don't mind me. This is bothering me that I can't.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But what I want to ask you though is, what games have you been playing over the holiday break? Even if it's backlog
Halo.
Stuff. Yes, I beat Halo twice.
That was it. Halo.
That's it.
Just Halo. I tried the Gunk, and I really wanted to like that game.
I'm on the last level of the Gunk. No, it's not.
It's not for me. I don't know that I care.
See,
it's a vacuum simulator.
To me, the Halo, the Gunk benefits from Halo because after you spend all this time slaying.
Don't do
yes.
That.
Oh, I do. I consider it a very, very. It's peaceful.
This is not brunch, they have, man.
Look, not every game needs to be a banger, right? Some games are meant to be, a nice little. What do they call them?
Okay,
there's fuzzy games. There's a whole bunch of other genres now. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and maybe I'm part of the problem.
Yes, you are.
But I needed a little more shooty bang bang in that game.
But see, you had your shooty bang bang. You had Halo Infinite. How much more shooty bang bang can it get after that?
Yeah, that's why I played Halo Infinite again.
Yeah, I'm actually what am I? I think I'm 60% of the way through the heroic gameplay. I will do legendary when multiplayer, when the co-op becomes a thing. And I transitioned to Guardians of the Galaxy. I replayed Guardians. I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy a bit more. I love that game, man. I think that game deserves far more attention. The accolades it has gotten so far has been pretty damn great. So,
by the way, Gunstar Heroes. Don't forget that.
Gunstar Heroes. Yes. I definitely remember that game. I do. Although I will also argue, still, Gunstar Heroes does not sit at the same table as Sonic and Mario. But okay, right? I don't think so.
It doesn't. But I hate the fact that it was lost to history.
Yeah, a lot of these had potential, but became lost to history because the people who owned them did not give them the actual, the attention and the money and the budget and the potential, the games they deserved, right? They tried it. It may not have hit amazingly the first time, and then they moved on. It is what it is. But okay, so all you had was Halo, and all you played was Halo throughout the entire holiday season, nothing more?
All Halo, and after Halo, since then I have been just writing scripts. So I'm specifically because I know like February is going to be like an onslaught. So I have. After Halo, I did get back into Guardians of the Galaxy, and I didn't like it as much as I did when I was playing it originally, because games are terrible at re-onboarding you after you've taken time off. Because I was in the middle of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I was on like chapter 8, and then Halo came out, and then, what do you expect from me, right?
Yeah, no, I get you. Going back to a game after a while is tough. Actually, that's what the Gunk is doing to me. I'm way deep, and I forget where I was. They don't have a map, and it's just...
Okay, now, I want to talk about the combat system in this, and I don't know if this is a function of me stepping away and getting acclimated to Halo controls and how you defeat enemies, but it felt like a lot of just noise going on. I don't mean audio noise, I just mean like visual gameplay noise going chaos. On. Like, I don't know what's going on in a battle.
Well, but I think, honestly, specifically with this game, I think that's a feature, not a bug. Because the whole game is chaos.
Yeah, but I don't like that feature, right?
Well, not everybody likes it, right? This game, like, listen to them. They're constantly quipping to each other, constantly in the chat, constantly blah, 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 blah. It's always, there is no structure. It's about chaos. It's about, like, hilarious comedic chaos, right? Even you're fighting a pink, like, ice cube, if you will, in certain levels, right? And when we saw that at first, we were like, what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But now you see that, hey, it all worked for me because it's very funny. That's the thing. Maybe because the story was so good and that the comedic timing and all that was so good that it let you forgive a lot of the bad stuff. Because I do agree with you that the gameplay, the moment to moment shooty bang bang, is not on point like it should be. You know, there are some. It's a little bit weak later in the levels.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Boom just texted me.
Yeah, Bubsy. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yes, Bubsy.
But
he wasn't a cat.
Crap game.
I thought it was a dog of some kind. He wasn't a cat, was he?
No, he was a cat, man. He was a cat.
Bad drawing,
or
maybe bad recollection on my part. Okay, Bubsy the cat. Yes. Okay.
It was really, and don't forget Arrow the Acro Rat. This is what I'm saying. You had to be some kind of rodent animal, and they just had to make you into a platform. I don't know what it was back then.
Neo Mental also points out they tried to do it in the later aughts, right? In the early 90s.
Blinks
with Conquer.
With Blinks the cat.
Conquer Bad Fur
and
Day.
Blinks.
With fur tech and all of this. Yes, there have been many who try, you know, but it is.
But only Sonic. Only Sonic and Mario still prevails.
Yes, only Sonic and Mario still prevail.
So absolutely. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yes. So okay. Yeah.
But wait. Just one Guardians of the Galaxy. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I could not focus until I found that name.
So your gameplay, your moment. I will agree with you that the moment to moment is not as stupendous, if you will, as the actual story. But the story kind of kept me moving. I want to be
clear that you called this better than Spider-Man 2018. But
story-wise, yes. Yes, story-wise, 100%.
Fantastic.
Yes.
But and maybe it's just me, but I cannot tell who is where during a fight. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I'm just shooting.
You can pause. You can do that pause screen and choose the character who you want to. You know.
I know, but the problem is. They will tell you need to kill specific people first because they regenerate other people. But if the auto select is not really reliable, and I don't know who's who, for me to select a specific character, what you know?
I'll give you that, bro. I'll give you that.
How's that? So that was a problem, and I didn't notice it the first time I was playing. And maybe if I was into it the whole time, I would have a better handle on that. But coming back to it, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing in these battles, and I found myself in like the 10th level. Turning down some of the set. I do like how you can turn down different settings of it's not as simple as easy. You can turn down different things, but I ended up turning down a lot of things just to get through a basic battle because I couldn't select things. So to me, that just turned me off of the game, and that's why I ended up just saying I'm gonna put this down. I do want to finish it because I want to see the story, but I hate that idea where I'm not a fan of the gameplay, but I just want to see where the story goes. So I'll push through.
I will.
Like
100%,
you need to be fun also.
100%. I will back you on that. That my characterization and my review of this was clouded more by my fascination at how they did James Gunn so right. Like, it's just mind blowing how much it's like James Gunn wrote this damn thing. Like 100%. It is so damn good when it comes to that.
I'm sure he gave them some.
It must be because it was like, and shout out to Mr. Boomstick. He definitely like said that on Twitter, and then James Gunn retweeted him or liked it. So it was just like, yes, somebody somewhere was getting some pointers from James Gunn because that story and the quips, the way they did it, hilarious. Like, especially considering the fact that when you first started this, when they first started showing you this stuff, we all had that Avengers in our brain going, oh, this is going to be trash. And this looked even trashier than that did. And this turned out to be way better. Way, way, way better, you know. So, yes, I will say in hindsight, maybe they need to work on the gameplay a bit more. Maybe give us more agency on per character basis, right? Because I wasn't a big fan of, you can like hit the pause screen or like a slow down screen and then choose various ways you want the other characters to behave. But at the end of the day, I really did enjoy the game. So I've been going back playing that a little bit. Any other games you want to talk about, or you want to move on to our stories that we kind of missed?
No, we can move on. I just I want to get back to this game, but I do also just, and that's what I said. one point I kind of want to highlight is, you know, I get that. I love it when games have a good story. I'm a storyteller. I like you know, in you know, experiencing stories. But I also need a game to be a game,
Yes.
and a fun game, and
Yes.
so having a good story is not enough. It's like I
Sure.
tell you know,
Sure.
you tell rappers like lyrics alone are
Yes.
not
No, I
enough.
hear you.
You also
See,
need to make music.
but what I guess what happened to me is I walked in with very low expectations, and nobody explained this stuff to me when I walked in. So I was so surprised that it kind of carried me through. If you are primed beforehand, you know what to see, you know what to expect. That might change your perception of it. I just walked in because like I bought it on PC because it was way cheaper than on console. So I'm like, all right, well, let me give this a shot. I am an MCU stan. I'm in the bag, so let me just give it a shot. And I was pleasantly surprised at what I saw. To the point now where I'm excited for the studio that made this to potentially end in other hands so that they can shine brighter than they have up until now. But we'll get to that point.
I
We'll
don't think
get there.
Square Enix
We
is
will
letting them
get
go.
there.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get there. So okay, let us transition into more of the stories that we have missed over the weeks that we were offline, and that allows me to once again use these really awesome transitions we have. So a little bit of this. I love that. I gotta say, I'll be honest with you. I love that for sure.
I want to see
Anyway,
the one. Can we see the chat coming in, or we don't have that working?
we do
working
have
yet?
that one, but it's not as good, man. Like I said, we're still kind of working on we're in the middle of working the logistics on that a little bit. I mean, if you really want me, if you really wanted me to pull it together, I could, but
Can you just show it to them? Let's see what they think. Let's take an
but
audience poll.
Sure. We'll take an audience poll, but so you know, the browser is not in there right now, so it'll just be an empty screen, and I'll put it back. Ready? Here we go.
Okay.
So we'll transition to that real quick.
Right.
See, the browser's not in there right now, but you can see the chat. The
See,
chat is
see,
very
you got the chat right there,
Yes,
and then we
yes,
have
yes,
the
yes.
screen at the top.
Yes.
It's very nice. I like
We'll
it.
get
I
there.
like it.
We'll
I
get
like
there.
it.
We will get there. Don't
Okay.
worry, bro. It's all good.
All right.
So
all right.
let
fine.
us
fine.
let us at least start this conversation because we missed a bunch of stuff. And chat, if I missed anything while we're having this conversation, if I'm missing anything you guys think we should discuss, please bring it up. But I had a few points I wanted to hit because I really wanted to have more conversations about this stuff. But we weren't on the air. We did get to speak. We did get a chance to speak to this stuff on Boom's show and in various other places. So we did get some of that out. But I kind of want to talk to you about this, Everborn. So recently, Mr. Phil Spencer had an interview that brought about some interesting news tidbits that came from it. Right, the biggest
Philly
one,
cheesesteak.
the biggest one being that Xbox, and this was an extrapolation, right? His quote was literally that it has sold at this point, it has sold higher than any other console has in its at the same stage, right? And then of course, you know, your the folks that out there doing the what do you call it? Doing the extrapolations and reading the tea leaves, as it were. You have your Dan Lamad and all of them. They use that to extrapolate that it's over 12 million sold. Okay. Now, that was a report that came in, I would say, like last week, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, we'll say, right? So they're over 12 million sold, right? Which is pretty damn impressive considering the hole that everybody keeps saying, the hole they used to be in during the past generation, right? So clearly that they've dug themselves out of said hole with all of this.
Yeah, they went from 2 to 1 to stop the count.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that.
Exactly. So I kind of want to bring this up because you'll see where I'm going with this very soon, right? So there are 12 million. Obviously, we always do the comparison. The competitor in November had around 13.5 million sold. Now, let's be fair. That was in November before the actual holiday season. Right? So presumably they're probably around 15 now, if not 16, somewhere.
But you know what they're not at?
You
know what they're not at? 24 million.
Sure, exactly. But the reason, and let's be clear, the PlayStation is still the hottest of hot cakes. Everybody's buying it, right? Not to be outdone by the Xbox. Xbox is still doing it, right? But still, it's not like people are going, oh, PlayStation is trash, I want an Xbox. Whoever can find it, they are buying it, right? Usually when they say, oh, shipped is kind of fuzzy numbers because, oh, shipped doesn't automatically mean sold to home. But now we know definitely that shipped is sold to home because you can't find it anywhere. There are no store shelves where they're sitting, right? But
that doesn't mean people won't make that same tired argument. But yes,
yeah. When the chip shortage is over, when the demand and when all of that is back
over
to
in 2024,
when it's all back to level playing field, then that ship number becomes a bit more fuzzy again because there's a chance that you'll see an Xbox or a PlayStation on a shelf somewhere just collecting dust. As of right now, that is not the case.
You know what else will be on the you know what else will be on the shelf?
What's that?
Streaming sticks for xCloud.
Well, you're not letting me get to where I need to go. Let me get to where I need to go.
All right.
Let me get to where I need to go. So we know that the ship number is basically the sell-through number because as soon as it's available, it's gone. It's being sold everywhere. Now, we have the Series S, which also has been reported that for every X you can build, you can build 2 S's because of the way the chip, the way the S and X is configured. For every X that you build, 1 X equals 2 S's. That's how it works, right? So, by and large, and we haven't seen the breakdown.
What's the ratio?
Yes.
What's the ratio of Series X's?
Yes.
No. Before that. Mm-hmm. What is the ratio of Series X's that make it into a consumer box versus what goes into the data center?
Sure.
Server blades.
Yep. No, 100%.
So
100%.
That's another thing you have to ask yourself about what.
So there's a lot of
production ratio you have to ask yourself.
There's a lot of like when you make this comparison, there's a lot of mushy middle there because the PlayStation, only way you can play these PlayStation 5 games is to have a PlayStation 5. Only way.
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Many of them are cross-gen, and we'll get there too. But
I've seen a lot of people playing God of War with an Xbox controller. Yes. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, we'll get there too.
Shout out to J-Rock I'm saying, for highlighting that.
Yes, I saw that, and I was just like, oh Lord, and a lot of memes out there. It was hilarious. But I guess what I'm saying is, you don't need an Xbox to play Xbox games, right? You got your PC.
That's why this sales argument.
That's why this is so insane to me that they are in striking distance. They are in striking distance when you can play all of their first parties on your PC. You can play them through a streaming service. But somehow they are in striking distance of the console manufacturer who that's the only way to play. That's kind of funny.
When you are in striking distance, though, that leaves an opportunity to land a killing blow.
Exactly. Oh, and don't think that I will let you get away with this. That 2-to-1, that Series X to S, that's how they are able to get in striking distance. I recall some slanderers on this show in previous archive episodes talking about how it's unnecessary, how it's unuseful. Why is this even being made? I hope that those people can now see the image that the $1 trillion company, the $2 trillion company,
let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there.
Go ahead.
I told you I understood the business case, but the problem is I didn't like the idea of having to support it for the whole generation.
But you don't have to support it for the whole generation. What are you talking about?
Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You can't sell that to people now and then tell them, oh, by the way, we're not making native games for your stuff anymore. You can't do that.
No, that's well, there's 2 things. One, you can do that because you can easily say it is now a streaming box, but that's not what we're talking about. That's an argument that can be made. But I won't even make that argument. I won't even make that argument. You, Mr. Software Developer, know that graphics can be scaled, but complexity of design cannot be. Whoa. Let me finish. Complexity of design cannot be scaled. And where it matters, they are the same. They both have, even though the CPU is a little lightly clocked, right? Everybody keeps talking about the teraflops as if that's all that matters. The teraflops are not all that matter. What matters more is that the Series S does not have a Jaguar core in it, right? And how can you tell? Look at the Matrix experience. it can run it when the other $300 console, which by the way outsold everybody else, the Switch, cannot. Right? So the idea that it's going to hold it back,
there's
that's
more
ridiculous.
new $300 console entering the market, and that's the PS4 Pro.
And we're gonna go right there too, because the next
All right,
story.
but in a second, just with the Series S, right?
Like, yes, we are on the Series S.
I think that. So from the business case is you will be able to produce more at a lower cost, providing people an option. That's right. All great. Makes perfect business sense. It works. The Excel math works out. The thing is,
so does the people math.
I think
Look
we
at the
are
numbers.
oversimplifying. We are oversimplifying the complexity of supporting another SKU. I'm not fear mongering. It is what it is.
I hear you.
But
you think the PlayStation's option is better?
The main console, right? And I'm not making this up. Phil Spencer has said this.
Sure.
The main console that games are designed for will be the Series S. That's the main one. The Series X is for the enthusiasts like me and you.
But again,
the Series S is their main SKU.
But remember, even if, and you're absolutely right, the Series S is the main SKU, but the Series S has a capable CPU, and that's what matters. Not the GPU, but the CPU.
But it can be, in a lot of cases, yes. But when you're developing these things, a lot of the times they will send tasks off to the GPU that otherwise would have been done by the CPU. And if your game is designed that way, there's only so much you can send. So
let me give you this
CPU,
example.
So you may not.
Let me give you this quick example.
Do that. I'm just saying there are certain scenarios.
I hear you.
Again, hold on.
I hear you.
1 second. Just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Just to finish this thought. Please understand. I'm not crapping on the Series S. All I am saying is it will be a factor, and I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just the thing they have to support.
Does it require work? Of course it does, but it's not impossible. It's not like 5 years from now everybody's gonna go, oh, the Series S is holding us back. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Sure,
I say it now.
But
that's ridiculous.
Again. We will see in terms of the sort of output that we are seeing, 4 years from now from both of them. And we'll see what the equivalent of, Last of Us 2 was in 4 years
let
from
me
now.
Give you my
whatever
example.
Tech that they develop, and we'll see what happens.
My example to this is right now, okay, the Series X. I mean, the One X has a comparable, if not in certain instances, better GPU than the Series S does. That is a fact. I have both of them, right? I have the One X and the Series S as well as the X, right? And in certain instances, the One X has a better picture than the Series S does because it was rated for 1080p, sometimes 1440p, right? But if you play Cyberpunk 2077 right now, yes, issues riddled aside and all of that, if you play that right now, you will see more people on screen on the One S, on the Series S, than you do the One X. Why? Because the complexity of worlds matters with the CPU, not the GPU. Even though it's true, that the Series S will show you a muddier picture or a fuzzier picture because it can't handle the throughput the graphical horsepower that's necessary. Yes, that'll be scaled, but there will still be the same level of complexity on screen because where it matters, the CPU, they are all but there. That's the point.
Let me ask you a separate question. Do you think that people who are jumping into the $299 SKU, if they were able to produce a diskless Series X for $399, do you not think all of those people that bought the Series S would have bought it for $399?
But see, here's your problem. Here's where you frame that question well, but where you forget is if that existed instead of the Series S, right? Their numbers wouldn't be as big because for every X you build, you can build 2 S's. That's why their numbers are where they are now. The PlayStation is constrained just like Xbox is. And you rightly point out that they have to split focus to the data center as well as the consumer. So if all they had was a console Series X, a disc Series X, and a discless Series X, it would not be as high.
But that is,
they would not be able to put more on the street. Like,
that
I don't
is, that is
that's a bad question to ask because they saw this happening.
Again, that's a business case.
Yes.
Right?
But the business case translates.
Okay.
The business case translates
does
to
not
you.
affect me and you.
It does. It does.
It doesn't, and I'll tell you
let
why.
Let me explain why I think it
Here's
does.
Why
it
you're
does.
Wrong.
Here's why you're wrong. It does because a lot of people were able to get Series S's in their hands this Christmas because of that damn business case. Had they not made that business case, you wouldn't have been able to find X's or PlayStations anywhere. Because I still can't find another PS5.
I wasn't looking for any, but I understand.
No, but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about all those people on Twitter. All those people on Twitter who were like, "Yo, the Series S is actually little man's out here doing big things." Shout out to the ILP, right? They were able to experience that because a while ago they made the business case. We're not just going to remove the disc from it. We're going to make it easier to produce this one because at the end of the day, we forecast some issues about to happen, and they were right. They were right. I just need you to give them the respect well due.
Okay, listen, okay.
Yeah.
All I am saying is I think that disc and a discless Series S, so a Series X, along with the streaming option, would have been enough to serve their goals. I think,
but you would not
for
see
the rest
these
of
numbers if they did that.
I understand. I don't care about those numbers. I'm not
but that
playing
matters.
those numbers, and I don't have enough stock.
But that's what.
In
that's
Microsoft
why.
For it
but that's. I have enough stock in Microsoft.
My portfolio.
But that's what. That's why. That's the point of this conversation. People are shocked at how close they have come to getting next
in a number that doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
When you look at the grand scheme of things. When you look at cloud and PC and all of that, who cares if they are neck and neck in sales for consoles?
Yeah, but that's my point. And,
right?
and even in that instance, you yourself have even pointed out, like, streaming is not ready for prime time yet. It is a great option, which is great, and I use it often.
I was just about to talk
here
to you about that because
here you go.
I have
Mr.
actually
Duo
been
2, go for
playing
it.
on this thing on xCloud, and it's getting better by the day, and it was
you're right.
It was usable enough, and I'm telling you, when you play this thing like this.
It is a magical experience.
Clean.
Yes, I hear you. Oh, and to diverge into other topics of argument, this man's been trying to get me to buy this thing forever. I charged this, my phone, my Galaxy phone. Okay. I charged this on Thursday, and it is still at. And I'm trying this. It's still at 50% power. I charged this on Thursday, but we'll continue. Let's continue. Sheep. I charged this on Thursday. Here it is Saturday, and it's at 50%. Anyway, continue.
Hold on. Okay, so Boom says the Xbox Series S is specifically made
for the normies,
normies and casuals.
Yep.
This is the same casual audience that makes up 85%
of the people who buy PS4.
He's not wrong. And if the Switch can sell this amount, right? Being the lowest of all the hardware.
Yep.
And I don't see anybody
the Switch
complaining about.
The Switch has different audiences.
I understand, but I don't see anyone complaining about the game design of Mario and Sonic and all the other first-party games they do there.
Well,
so I'm not saying we're going to get.
I think you may be giving them a little bit more credit than they deserve, because I've heard a lot, even like, your Jeff Grubbs and them, who are like admitted Nintendo stands. They have Nintendo podcasts where they just exalt Nintendo for all their greatness. They are still like, they're going to have to upgrade soon because this 25 frames per second stuff is not hot anymore. Like, as games progress, all that the Switch becomes is a singularly first-party game console, because not by the nature of they don't want to bring it onto that network, but because they have to do too much work and too much stripping away to get them to work on to work on the Switch. They are now really separated.
There is a point of no return where old hardware does.
Oh yeah, because of CPU limitations. Yes, 100%.
Only because CPU. The GPU plays no part of it.
The GPU plays a part, but the reason why it's less of a part is at the end of the day, like if you are in PC land, if you play PC games, right? Like right now, we have God of War coming, and we'll talk about that, right? The God of War is out now, and people are doing reviews on it and whatnot. I have a 3080, you have a 3080. It will look glorious on our 3080s, right? But you can have a 970 from like 5 years, 6 years ago, and it will still look relatively clean on there. Now you'll have to scale your resolution and this and that. But as long as your CPU is decent enough, you will still be able to play that game at decent frame rates at smaller resolutions. That's why the CPU is far more important than the GPU. Yes, go ahead.
Frame rates. Speaking of frame rates, yes. Right? And this is to that point. Matrix demo.
Yes.
Right? What was the frame rate on the Matrix demo?
Well, okay. So before we go down that path, you know that the Matrix demo was not ready for prime time. It was in fact a beta of an engine that has not been released yet.
Frame rate was.
It was 30
Before
frames
I get
per
all
second.
this, it was 30 frames a second.
That's
now,
right. Yes.
We saw all the amazing
and even at the
things
highest and the greatest consoles, it was 30 frames per second. Sometimes it would dip, even with the Zen 2 cores and all of that. Yes.
Fantastic. So the point that I'm making is it's very easy right now when we're basically upscaling last gen games to do 60 frames a second and 120 frames.
And once we start doing
new things,
he is agreeing with me, and he is right.
See, and if you had the feature to highlight the chats, you could do that. But we can't
do that. We're gonna get there.
I'm gonna ignore Mr. Lucius Augustus now. But my point is.
Man with the best name in the chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and you can look at the things we were doing in terms of AI and characters on screen and all those things that we were doing in the 360 days versus the Xbox One days, right? There are things that happen when you so now when you're when you're doing less and you're upscaling games that are designed to run on Jaguar cores,
yes.
It's very easy to get 60 frames a second, but when you're doing the real next gen stuff like we see in the Matrix demo, are we going to revert back to 30 frames a second?
But you were wrong.
Hold on a minute.
You know why you're wrong? Let me tell you why you're wrong.
You're wrong. You don't know if I'm wrong because I didn't finish the point.
Go ahead, finish your point.
So once we start getting those real, true next gen features. Does that bring us back down to 30 frames a second? And if we are back down to 30 frames a second, where are we going to be with the Series S? And
this is why you're wrong.
Slider,
this is why you're wrong.
That's all I'm saying.
You are wrong because even the Unreal 5 demo did not use the hardware smarter. It was still, and why didn't it do that? Because it was supposed to work on the PS5 as well as the series. And just like your multi-plat CODs, they're not gonna go, oh, well, let's use all of the Velocity architecture on this box.
You done effed up, right? You done effed up, right?
Calm yourself.
You know you done effed up, right?
Calm yourself.
So you're saying you know because they have to support different SKUs.
Let me finish.
That they're gonna go to the lowest common denominator.
No. It's not because they have to support different SKUs. It's because they have to support different hardware rendering. Like, it's absolutely different. If we're talking about Xbox only, right? Or if we're talking about a world where Xbox and PlayStation both use smarter tools, then you can do that. But because we're talking a multi-plot world where PS5 has a small stake, PlayStation has a small stake in Epic, okay, we'll put that out there real quick. And they actually ended up needing the coalition to come in to assist with optimization, which then they put back into the PS5. They're still not using 80% of what the hardware can do, right? If they did that, I bet you they could still hit the 60 frames per second, but nobody's using the Velocity architecture here. They're still building these games using the same tried and true methods they've built before. There has been not a single game.
What makes you think the Series S is going to change that?
The
What
Series
makes you
S,
think that
this,
these third-party engines are
let me
going to
explain.
take advantage of all the things that are in
Let
place
me
to
explain.
take advantage of the Series S?
Let me explain. It's because the Series S and X, are literally built to mimic DirectX 12. Okay, so back in the day, those bespoke tools, right, could be, oh, Xbox got these things, but nobody wants to use them, and they just will lie dormant. But
All right,
now,
I got
as we
three letters for you.
transition, as we let
I
me
got
finish,
3 letters
as
for
we
you.
transition to DirectX 12 Ultimate, right, we're in DirectX 12 Ultimate land, right, and what happens in DirectX 12 Ultimate land? What happens there is they'll start using the smarter tools when direct
Maybe.
storage
Maybe they'll start doing
direct storage allows for quick resume on PC. Then guess what? The bespoke tools of PS5 becomes the odd man out because the Series X and S
that. In
are all
a
geared in the
perfect
PC
world.
way.
I have
Obviously,
3 letters for you, sir.
Go ahead.
I have 3 letters for you. UWP. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Shut up,
we've been
man.
on this topic too long.
Shut up. He's got to bring up, well, but back in the day they screwed up. Sure they did. Like, okay. So what? But all I'm saying to you is,
just because
I'm not saying it's a given.
offers developers
I'm not
an
saying
easier
it's a given.
option that they are going to take it. The
I am not
developers are
saying
gonna
it's a
go
given.
with what they know. Okay.
Sure, I'm not saying it's a given, right? I am not saying it's a given. All I'm saying is,
the Series
in a
S
world,
is a very smart idea.
all I'm saying is, in a world where you can isolate the competition, right? Which is what they're doing right now. In a world where you can isolate the competition, where your Series S and Series X and PC become more streamlined than a PS5, that's a world where you'll see the Series S get those benefits used easier because it's literally turnkey to your development platform.
Let me tell you where I have faith. Last thing, and I will tell you where I have faith in this whole endeavor. And again, all I'm saying is I would like it if the devs had less work, but it will take more work and it will be a consideration. Sure. And I do believe the Series S is the main SKU, so games are going to be designed around that and scaled up to the. But
that has always been the case. That's fine. But even on PC, they develop for the lowest SKU and then scale.
Let me give some roses. Let me give you some roses.
Okay, here we go. Roses.
All right, and then we can move on.
Yes, we can.
I think that prior to the acquisition of Bethesda, right? Microsoft, apart from 343, and you can say whatever you want about them, they didn't really have for their in-house studios tech-heavy studios, meaning people that design game engines and things like that, right? They were using a lot of people's. Okay. Cool, but they didn't always have turn 10. But anyway,
I'll give you Coalition. But okay.
But Coalition uses Unreal. They're using a third party.
And technically, Coalition are all Epic people, so they're using their own native tools. Okay, continue.
Cool, fantastic, but they don't control where that goes. They get what they get, and then they use it, right?
Sure.
So,
yes, continue.
But now, when you have ID Tech, right? When you have those guys now, and these other studios that they're buying, maybe they get a Sobo. These will be people, like serious technical people that can develop some of these tools to take advantage of that and develop more bespoke tools that will take advantage of that specific hardware. And I don't think they had as much of that before, whereas now you're gonna see that, because like the people at Sony Santa Monica and Naughty Dog, aside from the great artists that they have there, they're building their own engines to make those games, and they're very like super technical as well as being artists. And I think now their in-house studios, they have that, so this is going to be, I think, less of an issue because they have the mind space there in that over there to really take advantage of that, especially on first party. And I think you're going to see all of the 23 studios begin to, except for Coalition, obviously, but I think a lot of the studios are going to begin to use, over the coming years, they're going to be using their own in-house engines. right?
I agree
Engines
with you,
that
yeah.
specifically take advantage of that hardware. And that is where you're going to see these things. And for third party, the PC is going to be the bottleneck. So the first party stuff, they are going to take advantage of all these things, and we're starting to see that with flight sim and things like that. So it's less of a concern than I think people
we just like
personally
throwing arrows at
just
each other. It's fine.
Yes, I would have liked the 399 because I haven't used the disc since 2013. So I would have liked the 399.
I hear that. I know that
That's all I'm saying.
I know that your argument is self-serving. I know this.
Complaint is coming from.
I know your argument is self-serving. Oh, and salute to all the folks in the chat. I see Pixel you out there. You know, Lucius Augustus is representing real good. I appreciate you, good sir. Thank you. See, he's listening to the voice of reason while you sitting there blabbing about ridiculousness. I appreciate that. Oh, and my wife is in the chat asking us not to fight. So there you go. I appreciate you, sir. So let's
I don't want peace. I want problems.
He came here for violence. So let's move on a little bit. What do you think about now? This to me. And it's not really, but to me, this should be more hair-raising than the whole Series S thing. Because now, rightly so, because of the chip shortages and all of that, they are now going to start making more PS4s because obviously the PS4s, the pipeline is already established. The price is real cheap for them now because PS4s have been revised so many times, right? They're doing that. But now you can say, oh no, this will hold the gen back. Because if you're selling 1 million more Jaguar Core consoles, you're not going to do that and then in 2 years drop them like a hot potato, right? Now you have to adhere to your Jaguar Core.
Says Sonic has poisoned my brain.
Indeed it has. Indeed. But you see what I'm saying though? Like now, when we first heard this, people were talking about, Wolverine cross-gen. It was funny. Now it's not so funny anymore. You're not going to sell 1 million PS4s and then say, y'all can't play Wolverine.
I said this in the spaces yesterday before it went all the way left.
Okay.
And I regretted going to any space.
We need to talk about that, by the way. I was not part of that. Go ahead. We'll talk about that later.
I'll tell you offline. It's not.
Yes.
It's Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Like I make it a habit, like not to, as a social experiment, not to mute or block anyone. So my timeline is a real veritable.
Yeah, I try not to block unless you're racist, but I'll mute you easily.
Right. But you know, after yesterday, man,
you're thinking twice.
And I will never succumb to any peer pressure campaign to block anyone, just because I think we should think for ourselves. But boy, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to do some soul searching about cleaning up the timeline. But anyway, before it went left, I think that. So I was saying that, look, this is not a problem for Sony. This is egg on the face of everybody, including the media, who ran with that. We believe in generations, and is Xbox One, is Phil Spencer's decisions to support the Xbox One holding back games and all that stuff that we knew was BS to begin with, but many times we just have to sit back and just wait. And everything you say will be proved right, but then, even then, you can't say that you was right, because then they say, well, why you
change the argument on you?
So what we're saying is, I can just say anything I want at any time, and I can't be called on to remember. So I can just tell you you're wrong and talk about my opinion as if it's fact, because the only thing that matters is the moment. So what Sony is doing is super smart, and I commend them, and I will tell you why.
Okay.
The Series S is the thing that is in the store, and everybody, again, made fun of the Series S for being a product that was available for, wait for it, people to buy at a time when they were looking to buy things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now you see that 12 million number, whether it's an estimate, maybe it's more, maybe it's less. You see that people are going home, and guess what? A lot of people that have been just going along with the sort of tagline about Xbox has no games or Game Pass is this. A lot of people take that home, jump into the ecosystem, and oh wait, hold on a minute now. I can play this here, and I can take it over to the browser. I can go to the PC. Game Pass. I don't have to throw away all of this money, my hard-earned money on these things. This is nice, and that presents a threat, right? Now, what you are seeing with God of War and Horizon and GTA 7 is Sony saying, look, and be clear, Microsoft
GT 7, not GTA 7.
GT7, GT.
Don't
GT7.
go there.
Yes, we're never gonna get 6 before we talk about 7.
Go ahead.
But Microsoft would do the same thing if the Xbox One was a more successful product. Let's be clear.
True. Yes, no doubt.
Let's not mince our words
no
here.
doubt.
So
yes, 100%.
They're doing this, and they're supporting cross-gen so that they can have a product in stores for people to buy when they want to buy it, or the Series S is going to run away with the day, right? They know that, right?
But but here's the problem,
what they're doing
though.
is smart. Well, just one thing. I'm almost done. So, if you have looked historically at any Sony generation, they're big, heavy hitters, technological masterpieces. All those things don't come out to the latter half of the generation when developers have had time to learn the new hardware, and you have an install base enough that can warrant a $200 million budget on a $50, $60, $70 million install base. So right now, they have rightly and smartly said, guess what? We had these big games that had these $200 million budgets. What we are going to do is take those same assets, have new story content, create sequels and director's cuts using the old tech that we already invested in.
So
while
PS4 will have no issues.
Staff up, right? We gear up and staff up for the latter half of the generation, right? So, but in the meantime, we can still have these heavy hitter titles that will be supported cross-gen, and the graphics will be scaled up for the new hardware because that's easy to do, and it's smart. And they are now able to release a sequel to Horizon, a sequel to God of War,
the problem
GTA,
you're not bringing up.
The sequel to all these things to have the mind share, to suck all the oxygen out of the room in this discussion as it pertains to gaming and bangers. So they are smartly doing this. This is smart. Business-wise, smart move.
Okay.
We said this a year ago.
No, it's not the same. This is not the same. This is not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. We need to get this right. This is not the same as the Series S. It's not. Because guess what?
I'm not talking about the Series S. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when Phil Spencer said, we are going to support the Xbox One for 1 year.
I get it.
And he was crucified for it.
But what I'm talking about with this, the reason why I think this is problematic is because this is not as, it is a business case and it is business smart, but the problem with this is, remember when people were talking about, oh, the old gen is going to hold us back? This is really going to hold PlayStation back. Like, literally, this will hold PlayStation back.
I don't think it is.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because their PS4s aren't being built with Zen 2 cores. The PS4s are still being built with Jaguar laptop cores from 1990 whatever. Now, that is the problem here.
Now I got to push back.
Go ahead, push back. No, because look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Let me be clear. Let me be clear.
Horizon Forbidden West looks held back.
Look. See, that's a straw man argument. You know why that's a straw man argument?
No,
that's a straw man argument because it's a straw man argument.
I'll tell you why it's not when you finish.
It's a straw man argument because we're talking about developers who take what they have and they make the best out of it, right? You know damn well, as I do, that The Last of Us 1 and 2
G's in the chat.
Yes, sir.
You give developers the constraints and the magic happens.
Of course, I get that. Don't get me wrong. Stop.
The girls from the women when they
I'm not saying that's wrong.
Within the constraints.
I'm not saying that's wrong. They obviously will work in the constraints, right? But when Xbox was saying this, people were hair raising and pulling out their hair wrongly, because at that time they were talking about a very small window, like you've said, a year, maybe 2. They were talking a small window, and then after that, they had a plan for y'all. What was the plan? Here's the streaming box. The box you had already can still play Flight Sim. You just have to do it through the cloud. That was your solution. When you are now introducing potentially 1 million PS4s into the ecosystem, it means for the next 5 so years, you're going to have to always account for the Jaguar cores. And complexity cannot be scaled.
But wait,
which
means,
see,
this is why
which
you're talking
means,
out two sides of your mouth real quick.
No, I'm
Hold
not.
On. When
I'm
I
not.
said
Let me
support
finish.
The Series S for the whole generation.
Yes,
you
because they
like,
have the same
you
CPU.
don't. But now you saying they got to support.
No, but you're not hearing me. The reason. Let me finish. You didn't understand what I was saying. The Series S and the X have the same CPU, so all you're doing is scaling graphics up and down. That's what PCs have been doing for years. But the PS4 and the PS5 don't have the same CPU. So you're definitely going to have to make sure there'll be less population on screen to account for the PS4. The population density is not scalable. The complexity of a world is not scalable.
Is, and we see it. It is scalable because we've seen that with Cyberpunk.
Well, but look what have they done? What did they do? What did they do? What did they do? What did they do though? Every time you load up a PS4 version, and that's cross-gen. Every time you load up a PS4 version, it is, and actually running the PS5 in back compat mode.
Between the PlayStation and the Xbox was different.
It was exactly this. Well,
PS5 and no, it was different. Go back to the Digital Foundry.
Yes, I hear you, but even there, it's because the Xbox gets to use more of the next gen features available right from jump. So you always see more people on screen on the PS5 on the Xbox One version. Look, I'm not saying that this is hair raising or this is like gloom and doom. What I'm saying is, those people who were ready to throw arrows about it'll hold us back, right? Those people should actually be very mindful of this, because as Victor Allenstein has pointed out, they're making fresh PS4s. PS4 can't run the Matrix demo, and they're gonna imagine bringing 1 million people on board.
That's different.
We're going to be running in the next 3 to 5 years. We're going to be an Unreal 5 world where Nanite and all of that will be everywhere.
And those games won't run on the PS5. It's not
exactly.
Like
but that's my point. So you're telling me. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that it's cool that we live in a world where they introduced. I'm not fear mongering. I'm not, and I'm not saying this is like.
And I'll tell you why.
I am not. Please tell me why.
By the way, I like how I'm looking at, because you're doing this screen share. You guys can't see this. Mm-hmm. This mother effer is in 67 degrees and sunny weather, and I looked at my clock.
He's literally looking.
And it says 14 degrees.
Oh! Not only am I in 67 degree weather. There's a high surf advisory, so people can't go surfing.
Oh, high surf! Son of a gun! Son of a gun! This morning it was 10 degrees, so it's even warmer now than it was 10 degrees when I was walking my dogs this morning. But anyway, here's what I'm saying.
See, listen to what Pixel just said. Read what Pixel just said. The point is, all cross-gen games now have to target PS4 as the hardware base, because there's still a lot of PS4s in the environment.
Okay, but that's what a cross-gen game does.
And because there are more PS4s in the environment, the cross-gen generation will last longer.
Not all PlayStation games will be cross-gen.
So you're telling me. Let me get this straight here. Hold on a minute. You're telling me that all of a sudden, if we see 1 million plus more PS4s being sold, they will still come out in 2 years and go, oh yeah, see this new game, this new hotness. Y'all can't play that.
I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm telling you, because they released Ratchet and Clank, and they released Returnal, and they released Deathloop, so they will say some games will not be here. Like, let's not, come on. Like,
because remember,
they deserve certain smoke, but let's not, like,
but you see, the key that you forget here is the goal is not the hardware. The goal is the software. The goal is to sell software. Are you saying that
Sony, because now they're releasing they're going to make another 1 million PS4s, are you saying that there will be no first-party, next-gen only games?
I'm not saying
You're not saying that. So you're saying some games
what I'm saying is
cross-gen.
What I'm saying
just
is,
like on Xbox.
What I am saying is that world where we were just going to cut the next gen, cut the. Whoa! Let me finish. You're asking me what I'm saying. Let me tell you.
And make these.
You're asking what I'm saying. Let me tell you. What I'm saying is, in the world where we used to be like, oh, when are we going to cut the ties of cross-gen and just move forward into next-gen? That world has become longer now because of this news. That's what I'm saying. That world where cross-gen was around for a long time, that is going to, because Xbox has already, because Xbox has already cut
3 to 4 years.
Well, no, but that was, see, Dance Move said hold on, and I said this on the Spaces with shout out to Xbox Uni. Dance Move said that before the pandemic was, well, not the pandemic, before the chip shortage was a big thing, right? So I'm saying every quote that you heard, don't assume that's gospel. Add more years to that, because now we've heard that the chip shortage will last even longer.
Cross-gen games for the entire PS5 generation.
I'm not saying the entire PS5 generation.
How long do you think the generation's gonna last?
I'm saying when.
How long do you think the generation will last?
Let me finish. When Dance Move said 3 to 5, what did it say? 3 to 4 years? That's what Dance Move said, right?
3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I honestly think that.
By the way, no smoke when Phil Spencer got 1 to 2 years and it ended up only being 1 year. Let's be clear. There's room for righteous vindication and smoke. But what you're talking about,
the reason why there's no smoke with Phil Spencer is because he has a solution for those who don't upgrade. Your console, which would have to be thrown away, which would then become a dead device, now has cloud streaming.
Is right. Sony has always done this. It's just that people ran with a narrative.
No. Look. See, but you're not understanding me. I know that the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3 had a longer tail. PS3 had a long tail. I get all of that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, since the chip shortage has forced them to basically reopen production for PS4, it means if 3 to 4 years was the initial quote, it's not 3 to 4 years anymore. It's longer now because the chip shortage is dictating that. I don't know that. It depends on when that chip shortage becomes longer. So it has to be because
how much longer?
When Dance Moves made that quote, we had not gotten the latest update about the chip shortage. We had not gotten this might last well into 2023. We hadn't gotten that when he made that quote. Okay. And
fantastic.
just because he says 3 to 4 years, those games are being made today for the 3 to 4 years. So what are you going to do? They're going to cut it off at the tail and hope for the best after that? Hell no. So I guarantee this will probably.
Again,
I bet you this will.
But I'll tell you what.
I'm not fear mongering. Why?
So look, give me a date. Give me a date. Give me an estimated date.
For the record, for the folks watching, with Everborn trying to paint me into the fear mongering corner, we're talking about the company that made the Last of Us 2 on a PS4, not the PS4 Pro, the PS4, by all accounts very weak CPU console. They were still able to make magic. So I'm not saying you're gonna get Pong. I'm not saying that. This is not fear mongering on my part. What I'm saying is those who have been itching to see next gen in its full glory, we're gonna have to wait longer, because now
they already saw Ratchet and Clank, did they not? And Returnal and Deathloop.
And see, and again, that's a straw man argument, because now you're going, oh well, they still are able to do magic with what they have. Obviously, in that world, they could have stuck with PS4 forever.
I'm not saying magic. I'm saying they are releasing next-gen only titles. So some games that warrant it will be cross-gen. And some games will not. And that will be irrespective of how many more PS4s they make. Furthermore, as Mr. Joanna Dark, hold on a minute. Go ahead. As Mr. Joanna Dark points out, they have always sold previous gen consoles several years into the current generation.
But they did that. They did not do that for the purpose of
your point.
Go ahead.
To your point, he said 3 to 4 years before the chip shortage issue, and I doubt that he didn't know about that chip shortage, because they're going to know about that long before we will.
Sure.
But let's say he just found out about the chip shortage the day after he said that, and we know the chip shortage is going to last for at least 2 years. So are you saying that 2 more years? So now, are we saying we're adding another 2 years to that 23?
I would say at least a few more years more than we initially thought.
2026.
Like,
you're saying that they're going to
okay,
have to support
all I will say
cross-gen
is this,
games,
right?
which
And
means
all
by the end of the generation, which is 6 to 7 years, you're saying they're going to be supporting
that's the thing.
PS4
I don't think the PS5 will be 6 to 7 years.
That is not
I think the PS5 will be longer.
Should be worried about.
I think this generation will be far longer for two reasons. One, because Xbox is trying to do away with generations because you can cloud and all of this, and I think because of the chip shortage, this generational thing will last considerably longer because they have telemetry. Microsoft even said they have 1 million 360s that still get turned on, right? Clearly, PlayStation has that as well. And if a lot more of PlayStation 4s are in the market,
games for the 360 they ordered, and
Yeah,
Sony's not making PS3 games.
Okay.
They
All
will
I will
stop
say,
at some point, and even before they stop, they will be, once the PS5 install base is larger, their bigger titles will be next gen
all
only,
I will say,
probably also on PC,
we will move on from this conversation.
Not on the PS4.
We will move on from this
People
conversation.
Don't have to worry about this.
I will move on from this conversation,
but
I will say,
and people that didn't keep the same energy have to worry. Not
I
what
will
Sony's
say,
doing. Don't worry about that. That's all
I
I'm
will
saying.
say before we move on from this conversation, in a world where I was completely thinking there is just no way that Wolverine game is coming on PS4, I am not so sure now. That's all I will say. Doesn't mean it's going to be a bad game. Doesn't mean it's going to be terrible or whatever.
With you, sir.
So you think?
I'll take that bet.
You'll think? Okay, so let's make it clear. Let's make it clear. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, the next Spider-Man game?
I can't. That's 2023. I can't. I think.
Oh, come on. You think that's 2023? You really think that's 2023?
If it's 2023, I think it could go either way. Anything after 2023,
okay.
Okay,
so then let's make this bet clear because we have the platform and it can be recorded in the ether here. So you're telling me there will be no 2024 games that will be cross-gen?
On the PlayStation, yes.
On the PlayStation. There will be no 2024 games.
There might be PC day and date.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Jaguar cores. They will cut the Jaguar tie in 2024. That's what you're saying.
December 31st, 2023 will be the last PS4 game. So
okay,
January
you hear that,
1st, 2024. You're not getting no cross-gen.
I say I'm not so sure about that at this point.
Okay, we'll see.
Right. I hope I'm wrong because look, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not so sure about that, and I think you might be wrong, good sir. But let us move on. Let us move on to the next topic at hand. We don't want this to be too damn long. How about some Game Pass conversation? How about some Game Pass?
All right. Okay. When we get numbers, are we going to get numbers on that investor
I am
call
still waiting for that. Man, they better be, because they're like, don't judge us based on our console sales. Judge us based on Game Pass and engagement. Where's the Game Pass and engagement? I still haven't seen it yet. That is some righteous smoke for Xbox. We need to see that, right? But what I will say is, and this is a 1-2 punch a little bit, we first and foremost heard that 007 had leaked, the achievements had leaked for that. That game has been available to be downloaded by whoever can online for a year now, because when it initially made attention, it was this game is stuck in rights hell, and it's between Nintendo and Xbox, and also even the people that own the rights to 007, so it's never going to come out. So they somehow just kind of dropped it as it was like it was hot, right? So it was out there. Like, there's a download version. You can find it on the internet if you're sleuthy enough, right? But now, all of a sudden...
Sleuthy, that's a good word.
All of a sudden, there is a leak of the achievements. And guess who leaked the achievements? Do you know who leaked the achievements?
Okay. Who leaked the achievements?
Two rare developers leaked the achievements. It was on trueachievements.com. Now, this is a service. If you don't know, you have to go into True Achievements. You have to sign on with your specific Xbox account, right? And then you have to authorize that service to then aggregate and monitor your information on that. So then they can give you really intuitive like ideas about your gameplay habits and what you've played and this and that. But you must authorize that first at some point. I have a long time ago, so I can go back there and it'll tell me all the games I've played and blah, 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 right? Now, all of a sudden, two rare developers, and it's been proven that the two IDs are two rare developers, have leaked the achievements for 007. My question is, was this a mistake? It was the first news of 2022. Was that a mistake? I don't think so.
Okay.
What do you think? because they have that, and then all of a sudden, guess what? Rainbow Six Extraction, day one, Xbox. Oh, and Ubisoft is coming, not to Game Pass, but it's just for now, right? I don't know. Shout out to.
I want to understand the question here. Mm-hmm. Are we saying is there a new 007 game coming?
Oh no. So
like
I don't know if I don't know if you were aware of this. They remade 007 GoldenEye. Right? It was
but like how long ago?
This was it during the follow the timeline. During the 360 era, they remade kind of like how they did Halo Master Chief Collection, the anniversary edition, right? Where you can flip a button and then see the new gen graphics, hit the back button, and then you see the old gen graphics. They did exactly that for GoldenEye 007. Okay? So when they did that, it looked great, this and that. It's the 360 era. But they use cell shading. This is a Nintendo 64 game, so you don't need much to make it look better. It was redone on Unreal, I think Unreal 4. So it looked way better than it originally looked. But at any moment,
it was Unreal 3. If it was
it could have been Unreal 3. Okay, no, but I mean, yes, it could be Unreal 3. Anytime you hit the back button, it goes to the original engine, original N64 graphics, and you can switch between them. Okay, and it got leaked on the internet.
That game.
Okay.
Here's the problem with that game.
Uh-huh.
The controls are so
archaic. They fixed the controls. You can play it now with
dual stick.
Yes, you can play it now with standard dual stick. Click. You can do that. Yes, in the new one. Yes, you can. Yes. And actually,
I'm struggling
shout out
to
Fonzarelli Gaming, because he pointed out something very interesting that I did not know that I have since verified. Even the OG version of that game on N64, you could play dual sticks, but you needed 2 controllers to do it. You could play your one character with 2 sticks. You could do it. Yes, you could. You could play it like this, but of course the controller only had one analog, so you'd need 2 analogs next to each other, and it could do it. So all they did was literally just bring the mapping into one control stick. So it is now normal controllable as it was.
I love how the N64 controller just assumed everybody had 3 hands.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor there.
But anyway, so that has now leaked out.
Fury in the building.
Yes. Welcome, Mick. We appreciate you checking this out. That has now leaked out. Obviously, it's not a game that's for everybody. It's literally like a what do you call it? Xbox. What were the Xbox Arcade? It's an Xbox Arcade joint, basically. Right? One of the last bastions of the Xbox Arcade. This is not going to like shake the world, but you know how many people lost their collective minds when they found out that 007 was coming back? It's a complete nostalgia play, especially considering the fact that it was leaked online a long time ago, the game itself. Why not sell it? So it looks like it might be coming out, and they're selling it. This won't be, burn up the world, but this is death by 1,000 cuts to keep Game Pass in the zeitgeist, I suspect. Because in addition to that, days later, we hear Rainbow Six is coming. Oh, and by the way, Mass Effect Trilogy is now on Game Pass, which we always knew it would be because EA Play is on Game Pass. So every one of their games, once 6 months, a year has passed, obviously would come to Game Pass. But it made a big headline when the Mass Effect Trilogy came to Game Pass. Oh, and by the way, Hitman Trilogy coming to Game Pass. Salute to Mr. Joanna Dark. He and I have been geeking out about that for a long time since we heard that news. The only problem I have with the Hitman thing is Hitman just announced recently that they're going to allow VR play for all of their games. So that game in its full glory in VR, right? And Hitman is now coming to Game Pass on PC, obviously. Now Hitman is also coming to Game Pass, and it's been VR playable on PlayStation because they have that available there, right? It's coming to Game Pass for PC. The question is, will they allow the VR play in a Game Pass game? Some have, but some have not. So I'm kind of like, and I actually sent the question to IO and nobody responded, so we shall see. What is your thoughts on Game Pass in 2022?
So we'll talk about Game Pass in 2022 in a second, but as it relates to Hitman, I'm going to file the VR piece of it under I don't care.
Really?
Not about VR, but just Hitman and VR. Genuinely don't care. But
why?
That being said,
that is amazing. Because that is a
What are
problem
the
that a lot of
okay?
people have with VR. Oh, they want the full experience. They don't want an offshoot little kiddie version of it. Like that's the problem with the people, and rightfully
Yeah,
so.
but I want a
That's the
game
problem
that
that
was
people.
designed from the ground up for VR, not something that you bolted VR
Oh,
on,
listen to this
like
man
Resident Evil 4.
using my words with Resident Evil 4. I hear you. I hear you. But see, the reason
Okay.
why Resident
Yes.
Evil 4 was even more egregious was because, like, IO designed this with VR in mind. Uh-oh, I just lost your cam, my friend.
No, no, I turned it off for a second.
Okay,
Don't
just so
worry.
you know. Okay. Uh, uh, the IO designed it with VR in mind because even before this play was fully available to all, they allowed VR play on PSVR, and it was a great experience. And PSVR, I'm sorry, is trash. And even still, it was a great experience.
But you got all that smoke for Resident Evil 4. But anyway,
No,
so
no, no.
here's the thing.
Resident Evil 4 is a very old game. The pixels are insane in that
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
When you play
yeah. Okay.
Hitman, it's still three-dimensional, well-designed characters.
Mm-hmm.
Shut your mouth, good sir. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. But Game Pass 2020. So the thing with IO, right? Like, so we know that they're working on what is it? Project Dragon. Is
Project Dragon
that one's IO?
for Xbox, yeah.
So they're doing an Xbox exclusive. They just decided they're gonna put their main IP, all of the mainline titles, into
They did
Game
put Hitman
Pass.
1 and 2 in Game Pass a while ago. It was in
But
Game
3.
Pass a while ago. But now they're adding the third, and they made a trilogy collection, and that trilogy collection comes day and date, purchasable everywhere, even PS5, and then you can get it in the Game Pass day one.
Also in Game Pass though, right?
True.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Which is really hilarious, by the way.
So
Which
I'm
is
just
really
saying,
hilarious
I'm just saying.
because when this news came out, it was like, oh, they have the trilogy collection. It's going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be on Xbox. It's going to be on PC. Oh, and at the bottom it says it's going to be in Game Pass. And every news story, yo, it's in Game Pass, baby. Nobody cares about anything else.
Because that's the Game Pass effect. Nobody
True,
cares
very
about
true,
the other
very,
platforms.
very true.
This is like they look at it like an Xbox exclusive now. But I ask you this to ask you, could there be something more going on, sir?
That is a question that we will come to in a moment.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I agree with
All right,
you
now, okay,
that
so-
there seems to be
so-
smoke there.
So now, I know that I don't know if this is on the list, but I think this ties in for Game Pass 2022, which is the Stalker 2 delay.
Yes,
and what it
that is
means.
on the list. But yes, let's go there as
Okay,
well. Let's go there. Yes.
So, you know, the thing is a
Delayed
big
till
complaint,
December.
even though a big complaint about Xbox in 2021 was they didn't have much in the way of first-party releases until the latter half of the year. Now, fools on the internet tried to say it was only November and December,
Fools.
but really, fools. I'll say it. I said it. I don't apologize. But really, we all know. If you were there, you had to be there. That it really started. The onslaught started in June, and every
True.
month there were
Yep.
one or two big name, highly anticipated titles released into the service, and it crescendoed with Forza and Halo.
Yep.
And then fell a little flat with the gunk, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh,
Sorry,
stop with the
apologize.
gunk
I
slander. We don't want to
apologize.
appreciate
I
that.
apologize. Okay, I need.
Not every game is for you, man. Continue.
I know. So, so we know that, and so what we want is for them to keep up that momentum, and we know, you know, what's happening in February, and that's going to be, you know, what that is. But then we hear about this Stalker delay, and it's like, well, hold on a minute. That was supposed to be the first big AAA title of the year, AAA exclusive of the year for Xbox, and now that's not coming until in December. And I don't even think we're like, when you say December 8th, you might as well say 2023. And
Hey, the
I
gunk
have
came in December
expected
when
this.
they said it.
Right.
It did.
Well, they didn't tell you that to the last minute, though. They told you
True.
on December 7th that it was coming out December 8th.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
But the thing about Stalker 2 and the same thing with Hellblade, these things are running on Unreal Engine 5, which is an engine that is not even really finished yet.
Yep.
Right? So I expected that. I thought it was very ambitious because they were going to be like the first high-profile title to release on that engine, and I was like, April? Really?
And this is a
on
small team.
UE5?
This is almost
Right?
indie level small team. So yeah,
I don't think. Oh wait, no. Sorry. 8th was Halo Infinite Day.
mm-hmm.
The 16th was which was my birthday. That was the gunk.
Yep.
So what a terrible birthday present. Anyway, so the thing
Stop
is,
with the slander, man. Come on.
no,
man.
I'm joking. Like it's a very it's an intimate, it's a cute game.
It's a
just
game
not
meant
me
for certain
because
people. If
I'm
not
a
for you, that's
troglodyte
cool.
who wants to shoot things.
He's a
Or melee.
troglodyte.
I'd like some melee attacks there. But
He
anyway,
wants he's a troglodyte that wants explosions. Continue. Yes, go ahead.
yes, I need my explosions.
Uh-huh.
But
And while you speak, I will show you games that are now still slated for 2022 on Game Pass.
for
Continue.
now. But the point is, I'm
yes.
just trying to make this disclaimer that anyone that thinks we're getting, I'm sure we'll get some UE5 games, but just put a marker on the back of all these games that are using UE5 that we think we're just going to get in 2022.
True.
This is what I'm saying. You got to be cognizant of that. The engine they're still working on that engine. It is very new. People are learning how to do it. Sure, they're running into things, reporting bugs back to Epic, working through those things. So just keep that in mind. And this is why I don't think that game even comes out in December. And I definitely don't think we're getting Hellblade
Edge of Eternity,
in
huh?
2022.
February 10th, JRPG.
Right? Ooh, a lot of people have been asking for that. Let's see if people actually go and play it.
Yeah,
people.
you know. Yeah.
This is why we don't get
Warhammer.
those games. Warhammer, another one I don't care about, but a lot of people are excited for that. That's February.
Yeah, I'm because people
And
talk
that's an
about these
exclusive, no?
exclusives, these big AAAs. I'm just like, don't worry, there are still games coming. People just don't seem to they skip past some of these, so I'm just gonna throw them out there.
Willful ignorance. So okay, I don't. What's Weird West? Do I want to?
Weird West
care?
looks interesting. I was hoping it'd be Evil West because Evil West looks even better. Like we saw that at the Game Awards. Like awesome game. Weird West is like funky, weird stories in the Wild West. It's an indie kind of game.
Okay.
It's an indie game.
It's not doing it for me.
Continue. Yes.
Okay, so Warhammer
And of course,
Dark
Stalker has been deleted.
Oh, that's Stalker too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Midnight Fight, Redfall, which
2,
I
2,
really
3, 3.
want to see gameplay.
That's summer.
That's Q3.
That's gonna be summer.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course,
I think that's what they're gonna
Deathloop.
go into E3 with.
I think so as well. I think so. Scorn, October.
Another one. What about Exomecha?
We've heard of Exomecha. We haven't seen its hard date just yet, and I'm still holding out hope, man. I'm still there. I'm there. Day one.
do we know when Atomic Heart comes out?
It's still TBD. It's supposed to be
or
this year.
Plague's Tale?
Also
what about
TBD.
Plague's Tale?
Plague's Tale. TBD.
Okay.
Both of them are TBD.
Okay.
But 2022, we are here now. 2022 was an ominous number, but now here we are. So
well, as you get older, these years run up on you.
They just kind of run up on you out of nowhere.
You know
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Now, have you seen this? Obviously, it's also
what
another
kind
indie.
of Shinobi stuff going on?
Also coming to Game Pass.
Oh
man.
no, this is for me.
There you go.
Me.
They
made this.
You
Okay.
give him the gunk, and he's like, "Get out of here with this crap." But then you give him
I need
Genesis-esque. Genesis-esque.
That jab.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Also coming to Game Pass. So there you go. This
All
is
right.
coming.
I'm all about this one. You see them cartwheels on that?
Indeed.
I see you playing.
Look, there's a lot of crazy, like what I guess my point I'm trying to make with this, what I'm bringing up here is, if you focus your mind solely in the world of, when's the next gen AAA? When's the next gen? There's so much you miss. So much. There's a game, and I forget the name of the game, but it looks like a 2D flat plane version of Ghost of Tsushima. Like, same kind of dark... Trek to Yomi. Amazing. I cannot wait to see that game. But if you keep just focusing on AAAs, you'll skip right past that. You know what I mean? And those are all still coming, in addition to Tunic and a few others. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a full load of games, that will be...
Ayuden Chronicles.
And here we go. There's my game, Loot River. I played that demo, and I'm convinced that is the next, like zeitgeist grabbing, Death's Door-esque kind of game. It is very good.
I saw you playing that. I don't
Very,
know
very,
that I
very
agree
good.
with you, sir.
Well, you haven't played it. Just like you didn't.
Yeah,
just
okay,
like you
but
didn't agree with
if
me.
you're calling it the next,
Just like you didn't
Door-esque
agree
game,
with me
Tunic.
when. Just
Tunic.
like you didn't agree with me when I said Death's Door was worthy. I said Death's Door was worthy. You were like, nah, man, until you played it and went,
okay, cool.
Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Tunic. That's all I'm saying.
I'm looking forward to Tunic as well as Replaced.
Okay, just making sure.
Right? There's just so much coming. So stop all of the. Oh, and Somerville. I'm so excited about Somerville because that is those are half of the developers of Inside that are making Somerville. So
okay, yeah, no, that one looks interesting.
There's just so much coming. It doesn't all have to be the Unreal Engine 5 ridiculous crazy budget. It doesn't have to be that, right? These will all be there day one. And more of theirs is Trek to Yumi is right there. They don't all have to be the crazy budgeted ridiculous game the budget games that are coming out. Some of these are really.
First of all, one of my most anticipated. This is Trek to Yomi, right?
Yes. So stunning, amazing. So yes, it's true. Yes, it's, and even in addition to all that, I also think that we will definitely see more AAA stuff that we have not seen or heard from coming this year as well. They want to do that, drop it like it's hot, we announce it, and then boom, it's here thing. So it's not like only the games we've heard about are coming. There will definitely be games we haven't heard about that will drop this year as well, I suspect. And they will be AAA quality, I suspect. So, yes.
What do you think is the sort of, like, when you have, a service like Game Pass and all these things are here and there's a roadmap, things that people expect, they're looking forward to. But what do you think is the marketing benefit of releasing things and not announcing them until you know they're ready to go a few months out? Meaning, like, could there be any big surprises that haven't already been announced this year?
I tend to not put my stock into too many of those quote unquote insiders, but there are a few that when they speak, I listen. You have your Jeff Grubbs of the world, you have your Jez Cordons of the world. Yes, you have your special Nick from Xbox era. They tend to have track records when they speak. It matters, and they're saying that Jez has even come out and basically said that he knows of games that are releasing this year that have not been announced that are of a AAA caliber. So for the game that the Xbox is playing with Game Pass and keeping people in the zeitgeist and making sure they take all the headlines, I think that's beneficial for them. And they obviously picked a great publisher to purchase in that realm because Bethesda were the ones that go, oh yeah, see this game we're announcing right now, this deep, huge, amazing game that came out of nowhere. Oh yeah, that game is dropping in 6 months, and they actually did that, right? With Fallout 4 and all that. So I mean, I don't think if you live in a world where you have to sell console to get game, that's beneficial. You want to keep people on the hook, go buy your hardware, whatever. But as a Game Pass Netflix-like, I think it's beneficial for them to do that, right?
Hey, sidebar. The light on my Oculus is red. What does that mean? Is that just the battery?
That means your battery's dying, sir. Yes.
But I haven't turned it on or plugged it. I haven't turned it on.
So what you probably did? What you probably did was you probably put it to sleep and you didn't turn it off properly. Because if you put it to sleep, it'll drain. You have to actually turn it off in the settings.
That's that Android stuff. But okay, I get you.
He says while using his Duo 2, an Android device. Yeah, okay. That can't be closed because of ridiculous cameras that have been bolted in the back for some ridiculous reason. Anyway, let's move on.
They gave us the camera. Look at this.
Just stop it. Yeah, it doesn't go flat anymore. It doesn't go flat anymore. Now you can hide sandwiches.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this is not the polished product that is the Samsung Galaxy that everybody else has. So original.
And has battery life that lasts literally for like days.
Some of us
days of battery life.
That's all I'm saying.
Days of battery life. Anyway, let's continue. Let's move on. Real quick, stop me. because I have been itching to rebuy this game. Like they say,
No, I'm not gonna stop you.
unlike
Play with Xbox controller.
unlike Horizon, yeah, I know, right? Unlike Horizon, which came out a little broken, right? Unlike Horizon, which got better in time, this one is excellent from jump, and it's a great game. I consider it one of my favorite games. I really do. I love God of War.
I have to ask you a question though.
Please.
With this and with the work they've been doing on it, and how we heard it took them 2 years, and everybody was begging them to do it. What are the odds that the PC work has not been happening in parallel during development? And what are the odds that they not only want to release on PS4, cross-gen, PS5, but PC on day one?
Bro, look, I contend that is part of the plan. That has been part of the plan for a long time. But
because we know Sony will tell you last minute because they don't want to deal with the backlash.
Exactly. But they know that they have cultivated some kind of warriors on their camp. So unlike Xbox, where you say that and they go, well, do I get it free on Game Pass? Okay, peace out. All right, cool. On PlayStation, they go, oh, my device is now useless. You made me buy this crazy, ridiculous, large router, and now it's not even going to have the only games? What? They have people who get in their feels when their games go elsewhere, unlike on Xbox's side. So I honestly think that there are a lot of those games ready to go, Returnal ready to go, but are being shelved for now just to kind of appease the Pitchfork Mafia.
Cool.
That's what I think.
But Ragnarok is what we're talking about right now.
I
Do you think
I
there's
don't
a
think
world
it'll be
where
day
it
and
comes
date.
out day and date?
I don't think it'll be day and date, but I can see a world where it's 6 months. I can see that.
Okay.
I can see that. I mean, look at this other world. We're living in a Forspoken world. Oh, 2-year exclusive. You can buy that thing day one on PC with Xbox achievements. What are we trying to say there? It's there. It's just been shelved.
You know what's crazy? I'm still not going to buy that because it doesn't look like an
It doesn't look
game.
like something I want to play.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like something I want to play. But for those who are worried that, oh, it's never going to be on Xbox, day one, you can play it on PC with Xbox achievements, which means they've done all the work already. They're just not giving you the bits. Like, it's already done. It's there. It's just sitting there for 2 years, and then you can play it. So if you really cared about that game, or if the reviews turn out to be glowing for some unusual reason, you could just go buy it on PC right now and not miss out on your Xbox achievements if you so choose. They're literally just shelving the thing. And I think that's the same thing that will happen with Ragnarok and a few of the others as well. I really do.
Okay.
So would you play this?
We could.
On PC?
No, absolutely. Because I just played it on PS5 with the next gen upgrade in 2021 for the first time. I think
you do realize though
is good enough.
You do realize though that next gen experience pales in comparison to your PC, right?
I know.
Okay, as long as you know that. So you're saying, you're basically saying, I don't need to drive this. I don't need to drive this Tesla. I bought this Acura and it drives great, so it's all good. Why do I need to?
No, I'm saying I don't need to drive this Tesla because I have a recliner right in my living room where I want to sit down.
That is not a good analogy, sir.
It's called a car. I'm sorry.
But no, I hear you.
In the living room.
I might play this again because the mod scene tends to get good when games come to PC finally. Mm-hmm.
Take the reins for a couple of minutes. I will be right back. There's somebody at the door. Give me a second.
Go for it. No worries. So while he's away, I will take this opportunity to start getting knee deep into like VR talk because I'm excited. So those that know and I'm not sure how many people know this, I have been a VR stan for many years. I love my VR my VR gear, and I have been sitting at this table alone for many years until recently when folks have finally been able to join me at this table. And I'm glad and I'm thrilled that people can join me at this table. Finally, I get to play with friends. We've actually Demio, if you guys haven't heard about that. That has been a game since this year has come up, and a lot of people have tended to start buying a lot more of the Quest 2, which is right there, my Quest 2. A lot of people bought that, and they found that games like Demio and a few others are really great with friends. So now all of a sudden we're getting into it. So I'm pretty excited to jump in and try that out. But now we're talking about what PlayStation is coming out with, right? We have the PSVR 2. Like, so far, the reviews, well, not the reviews, but I mean, the hardware has been very, very interesting to me. As I said, I'm a stan for VR. I have been for a long time. I kickstarted the original Oculus Rift, so I actually got a copy of the Oculus Rift before it was tied to Facebook/Meta. And I think the Quest 2 has done really, really, really well to bring VR into the forefront, even after all the missteps of Facebook and all of that. And for those who are still on the fence, there is word that they've even said it, that they are going to separate the Facebook account from your Quest account, so you can actually play it without necessarily having to tie it into Facebook. So that is a very big victory. So hopefully more folks will be able to get into it after that. I'm one of those fools who bought and I think that's on this side, if you see that. I bought a Valve Index, which I won't tell you the price, but it was very expensive. I now regret it because I don't use it as much, because the Quest 2 takes up most of my time playing, right? I even have a PSVR 1, which, hot trash, I'm sorry to say. For those who aren't aware of how it works, unlike with other hardware where the better the hardware, the better the experience, it feels good, it looks good, and all of that. Specifically in VR, the better the hardware, the faster the frame rates, right? It's literally shooting two monitors, right, on your screen, right, in each eye. And they have to keep a sustained frame rate really high so that your brain and your eyes work in synchronization when you walk and you move around and whatnot. If any of them drop frame rates, or if the frame rate is below 80 frames per second, that's where your vomit-inducing situation comes in. So most people that go, oh, I tried PlayStation 1 PSVR and it was trash because, it made me vomit. Yeah, because they use very shitty hardware. Forgive me, very bad hardware to get that. The reason why it was vomit-inducing is because the hardware that was backing it was the PlayStation 4, which has Jaguar cores. We've already established. It was a downgrade. Believe it or not, the PS3 was more powerful than the PS4 was. It just used a weird chip cell. The cell chip was not a normal x86 architecture, so it wasn't easy to work with. But that cell chip in the PS3 was way more powerful than the PS4. So tying a VR experience to the PS4 was a huge downgrade. So VR has kind of been a victim of its own of bad hardware. So you experience it maybe using Gear VR, we'll say, or PSVR 1, and then you go, oh, this whole thing is trash. It's because the best way to experience it, more than anything else, VR is you get what you pay for. The better the hardware, the beefier the system that's backing it, the cleaner, the more the experience will shine, right? So the reason why Quest 2 is so magical is because they've hit that minimum threshold where it's still not like amazing hardware, but it's enough to where you're actually now using 120 frames per second per eye, right? And anything above 80 is cream. It's perfect, right? So now they started at 80, and then they shot it up to I think 92 or 90 somewhere, and now you can choose between, you can tier all the way up to 120 frames per second. So with that, your experience is astronomically better, right? And by and large, based on what they're showing us here, PSVR 2 is going to be a killer. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, right? So I am very, very excited by it. Every time new hardware comes out, it has to outdo the hardware previous to it. And it looks like this is literally not going to miss a beat in that department. What I mean by that is PSVR, what do you call it? The Quest 2, when it first came out, actually, the Quest 2 when it came out had better lenses and higher resolution than the Vive Index, right? And the Vive Index was the tip of the spear. It was the Tesla of its day, and now every other piece of hardware that comes out outshines it. Now I will say the Valve Index, the one claim to fame that it still has over any other VR headset that has come out since is they have this special kind of controllers that can very, very much,
Trash. No,
you've never played that before. Calm yourself. So the Valve Index, what makes it still useful is that the controls are still one-to-one. You can like do this in VR and see every finger, and it works. Whereas every other VR headset emulates it and gives you that GTA fist thing that you got going. Sometimes you can do a couple fingers, but you can't be as dexterous as you can in the Valve Index. So, but we don't know what the PSVR 2's control scheme will look like. We've already seen the controllers, which look very interesting. Oddly enough, if you look at it from a certain angle, it looks like the logo to Sony Ericsson. I don't know if anybody remembers that thing. The Sony and Ericsson combined to make a cell phone. That is their logo. If you look at it from an angle, it is literally the Sony Ericsson logo. But yes, we'll move on from there. The specs on display are absolutely phenomenal. I'm super excited to see that PlayStation is finally like taking it seriously, not giving you the worst experience,
how
but
do these
by and large the best.
Compare to the Quest 2?
It is way better than the Quest 2 for one specific reason. Okay, the Quest 2, I still think the Quest 2 by and large will dominate the experience. Why? Because the Quest 2 is basically an Android phone on your face, so you don't need it tied.
I understand that the PS5 is doing the heavy lifting in terms of graphics,
yes.
but people keep saying the specs of this thing blow the Quest 2
out of the water. Why?
Tell me about the specs.
Because
not the specs of the PS5, but the headset.
The per eye is way higher as far as resolution is concerned, and it's
What is it
OLED
on the
versus
Quest 2?
LCD. I think the Quest 2 was 1440p.
Can we check that?
I will double check that and come back to you. Give me one
Okay.
minute. I will definitely do that. But yeah, I'm
then
pretty sure.
What's the refresh rate on the Quest 2?
The Quest 2, that's where the Quest 2 is still. The Quest is still masterful because this starts at, it has 90 and then it also has 120. The Quest started at 80 and then gave you 90 and then now gives you 120. They've been working on it since then. So in both
and the
instances,
field of view.
The field of view is the same. Field of view.
No,
is the
I
same.
think the field of view is 90 on the Quest 2.
It is not. Let me get you the specs here. Hold on. Quest 2 specs, because I'm pretty sure the spec. Look, there we go. So, actually, this is even better. Quest 2 is a beast. It says. Hold on. All right, cool. So the best way to do this is just to give you the.
There has to be a comparison thing somewhere.
Yeah, but it's not with the Quest. It's not with the Valve. It's not with the PlayStation one yet. But still, this.
No one has done that.
They may have, but this is what I have found. But this still gets your point across. So check this out. Okay. So you have the Quest 2, which is a little bit under 4K, but over 1440, right?
Okay.
A little bit over 1440. See, when it first started, Quest 2 was 72, and then 90. And now it's giving you 72, 90, and 120. Okay?
Okay, so, all right. So, like, it's not that far off.
No. What I'm saying to you is the Quest 2, and let me, while we're doing this, I'll Google to see because if anybody has it, Upload VR has it. They'll have the comparison. What I'm saying to you is PlayStation has finally made a good bet. They have finally put their right foot forward when it comes to this, because the PSVR 1 was garbage. Like, it gave you a bad experience, and in doing so, it made people think VR as a whole is crap. Right? But it's not.
When they made you tape a phone to your head?
What do you mean? Who made you tape a phone to your head?
I'm just saying Oculus, when they made you use
when
your
the
phone
Gear
as a
VR stuff.
thing.
Yeah, the Gear VR stuff was horrible. They should have never done that because, and they themselves knew what they were doing, because unlike anywhere else, in VR, the better hardware, the better the experience. So why would you depend your experience on phone hardware? Absolutely terrible. Oh, here you go. Here's your specs comparison. Here you go.
This is on Upload VR, right? I'm
Yes,
looking at
yes.
the same thing.
Yes,
Okay. Let me come back to you. Let me come back to you.
So
That
there you
window.
go. So they're both not 4K, but this is the closest to 4K per eye.
Okay.
Right?
Where's the
PS
side by side? Okay.
This is the side by side. You're looking.
Oh no, because I'm watching on the YouTube stream. It's delayed. Don't worry about it.
No
All right.
worries. Yeah.
So-
And what makes, even though the resolution differences aren't drastic, but the fact is the display that the PSVR is using is OLED versus LCD, so blacks aren't as black in LCD land.
Yes.
OLED definitely will.
So maybe that saves us the God ray problem.
Exactly.
Right.
A PSVR 2 will support HDR, whereas Quest 2 does not support HDR. Right?
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
obviously the frame rate has already lifted because they're already at 120, right? And actually, you were absolutely right. It's at 90 hertz. I'm very surprised the field of view. Oh, you know what? It's because there's some there's some creative little hackeries you can do to raise your field of view on the PSVR on the Quest 2, and I did that a long
Oh,
time
but
ago.
hold on a minute. But right, because this does say the Quest is 72, 90, and 120.
And
So
120,
they've
yeah.
got the hertz.
Yeah, they
They're
don't
only
have the field of
100
view. You're right.
pixels. There's only 100 pixel difference. Field of view, yeah.
They don't have the
90.
field of view. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you know, but by and large, the reason why people are so excited about this is right. This is think of this as a Quest 2 for consoles. That's what this is.
Yeah,
with
but
higher
again,
specs.
again, I want to just clarify this difference
Go ahead.
here. Like the specs in terms, I understand that one is using the hardware of the PS5, but my Quest can use the hardware of my PC. Right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
let's take that out of it, right?
Okay.
So we can only look at the specs of the actual device.
Yeah.
We can't. So I don't want to hear about
Well, but the reason why you can't compare
Android,
no, the
whatever.
reason why you can't compare them spec for spec is because one of these is a TV without any media, and the other one is a TV that has Netflix built in. There's a difference. One of it is a TV that's empty. Until you have a PS5, this thing is useless. Whereas the other one is a monitor that has Netflix built in. You don't need anything else.
Cool. So what I'm saying, but all things being considered, the graphics argument can be null and void because of Airlink, right?
Because of Airlink. Yep, that's right.
Now,
that's right.
now we just have to compare the headsets based on specs. So we're talking about 100 pixels per eye, right?
Yep.
That's the difference.
Yes.
Right. We're talking about the same refresh rates. Depending on the game.
Yep.
And we are but you do have 20 more in terms of field of view. So that's a good thing. And OLED, which will hopefully solve the God ray issues.
Well, yeah, blacks are blacker. You can see. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and HDR. My thing is, that does not make oh my God, it's blown this thing out of the water. Is it better?
No.
Yes.
It is like anyone who tells you that the PSVR 2 is going to smoke the Quest 2 does not know what they're talking about in VR. They don't get that. Now, what is interesting?
Forget to talk about how open and the different experiments you can do on the PC side, which you won't be able to do.
What is interesting about the PSVR 2 though is foveated rendering, which can be done. Now, what is that? That is kind of like remember when the Xbox came out, the series consoles were coming out, and they were telling you about all the potentials where it can give you less resolution on the stuff your eye is not watching versus where your eye is focused. I forget the name of the tech.
Okay.
Right, where it smartly detects where you're focused and then drops the resources on the outside where you're not focused, so it saves those resources in order to make the system run better. Foveated rendering does that for inside VR. So what PlayStation is doing, and this is so smart because you're literally rendering two images at the same time. So I don't care how powerful your system is, it buckles your system, right? It will buckle your system. In order to run like a Half-Life Alyx at like a very high resolution, you need that i9 processor. You need that 3080 because anything less than that, and you have to you have to scale things back. And you don't want to scale things back. You want it to look the greatest as it can. And in order to do that, you need a very beefy rig. So instead of giving you the beefy rig, as they say, they're doing it smartly. So they're doing eye tracking. So while they track your eye, there you go. Yes. Shade of feedback. Thank you, Lucius Augustus. That is the console version that they're doing, which no one has really used up until now. But that's neither here nor there. What they're doing with foveated rendering and eye tracking is they are tracking your eye at any moment in time where you're looking, and they're making sure that all the resolution and all the resources are focused there, so that everywhere your eye is not focused on, they're saving those resources. So that way, and the reason why that's important is right now, if you play Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 on PSVR 1, it is a trash experience. Even though the game is fantastic, the scale down in graphics is seriously noticeable because you're basically rendering it twice, and the PS4 can't handle that, right? And the PS5, even with the Zen 2 cores, with the Zen 1.5 cores, right, which is much more powerful, will still buckle under that much weight. So with eye tracking and foveated rendering, they can basically go, oh, he's not looking there, let's shave that down and put it someplace else. Oh, he's not looking, and you do that well, you're able to punch above your weight.
We'll see how well that works in practice.
Oh, there are games on PC that can do that now that give you such an uplift. We'll see how, obviously, it all remains to be seen. But that's interesting new tech that they're doing in order to move the ball forward. Where I am worried about the PlayStation, and some folks have said this and I agree with them, they are still kind of, in VR, they're still kind of not giving you that big experience that you want. Like, for instance, for example, while you have Resident Evil 7 giving you the full VR experience, that was Capcom. They gave you that full VR experience, right? Where you have Hitman giving you the full VR experience, that was IO. They're giving you that full VR experience. When you go to PlayStation first party, instead of giving you Forbidden West in VR, no, they're giving you a side project in VR. That so far, even though, let me finish before you tell me I'm wrong, even though we've only seen a small bit of it, it looks more like an on-rails experience. It doesn't look like the full-fledged experience that you should. And if we want VR to get where it should go, it should be capable, just like they did with Resident Evil 7, just like they did with Hitman. They should be able to say this full game in VR. And we're not there yet with PlayStation first party, and I hope we get there. You know, I want them to go, oh, by the way, Horizon Forbidden West, fully in VR. Go for it. And that's not where they are right now.
Talk to me when they get rid of that wire. I just don't understand why.
The problem is they can't get rid of that wire. And that's a conversation people have had. They cannot get rid of that wire. Not now. They cannot get rid, because even Wi-Fi 6, even like there's a world where they can do,
before
even
you
if
get
you don't
into
have
Wi-Fi 6, what was the purpose of having Wi-Fi 6 on the PS5 if not for this?
But see, that's my point. Even Wi-Fi 6, they can have a peer-to-peer Wi-Fi 6 connection, meaning you don't need a Wi-Fi 6 router, right? It can be your normal old busted Wi-Fi router, and then the PSVR notices the PS5 notices you have a PSVR 2, and then connects it peer-to-peer with the Wi-Fi 6 capabilities. That can be done. But Wi-Fi 6 does not have the throughput, like with all of the potential like stability that you need. Airlink is still not ready for prime time, right? There's so much in the air, and they cannot force you to keep it on site. Some people will plug it in and go to the other room or whatever. You cannot have that be a consistent experience and then yell at somebody, and then PlayStation be yelled at when it's less than perfect, which is what will happen if you depend on air, right? And the reason why Oculus can get away with it is because they let you plug it in. You can plug in a wire if you so choose, or you can use AirLink, or you can play it natively on the box. And none of them are perfect, but because there's so many options, it kind of works. PlayStation just wants you to have that single player, crazy, awesome experience, as they do, directly from your thing. And even in a world where they're giving you that one wire, that USB-C wire, that is not enough. Because USB-C, I think, is 40 gig throughput, and 4K is 48 gig throughput. So even there, they're going to have to compress. They're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not ready for prime time.
So when we get to where we really are going, because honestly, what it really feels like to me is for VR to be, what we picture it to be in our head, right? Like, we're still in the Hangman days.
That's right.
We're in the Hangman days. We're not in the Uncharted 5.
I would say we're more in the, if we talk gaming, I would say we're more in the Super Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers days, rather than OG Mario with we used to be in Duck Hunt days. Now we're kind of Super Nintendo. That's where we are.
Okay.
We're a little elevated, but not by far.
We're not in Uncharted 4 or 5.
We're definitely not in that world. No, not in VR land. That's true.
Right. So in order to get to there,
Mm-hmm.
it feels to me like the tech is gonna have to, one, not necessarily be cheaper than $299. I think that's a great price point.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think
But
PSVR 2 will be $299. But let's continue.
well, that's
I think it
fine.
might be $3.
It does need to be wireless, and it does need to shrink down. And I think the only way to really get there is when streaming tech advances to where you could reliably stream stream these worlds in
directly into
a headset,
into the device, yes,
at 120 frames a second, right?
Which is also
when that happens,
so far away, because even in a wire you have a problem doing that at that high clip, right? Even in a wire, like the best streaming devices right now, the best streaming services, like bar none, is, believe it or not, Stadia. Out of all of them, NVIDIA Shield is also very
but
is
again,
close second.
like,
none of them offer at that level, not yet, because
that Orion tech, once that gets integrated.
Yeah, but that's all theoretical. We have not seen it in real life. We haven't seen it We've seen the theory.
Yeah.
We've seen we saw that awesome demo of Minecraft being played on a table in AR, but we haven't seen it materialize, right? Until we see it materialize, it's all theoretical at this point, right? And what is real is, even today, in a world of Wi-Fi 6, in a world all this, when you're watching something and you want to watch it at the best level of quality, I say plug in your Ethernet cable, because that's still real today, even with Wi-Fi 6 available, right? So I completely understand. And I actually would have been worried had PlayStation given you Airlink-esque capabilities, because that means their bandwidth needs to be much lower than that 40 gigs per second, right? Because they can't hit that 40 gigs per second is theoretical. You'll realistically get maybe 35, maybe 34, because again, noise, outside world gets in the way. So the only way that they can dependably give you the throughput that you need is with a cable. So I'm happy that they're giving you a cable. Now, there is a world we see where maybe they offer you an accessory that connects in, that's a separate adapter that gives it to you wirelessly, but that's your choice if you want to use that accessory, and of course, everything that comes with it, right? But them giving you a cable, I think that's still I still think that's a better idea than making it all wireless. You know what I mean? So I, for one, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Boo.
You say boo.
But yes.
Yeah. Who has internet that can use Wi-Fi 6? Yeah, nobody has internet that can use Wi-Fi 6. It's like buying an 8K TV today. You know what I'm saying? Not many there, Z Black Rider. I appreciate you being here. Yes. You know, you buy an 8K TV, you feel cool, but you're still watching 4K content sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the world we still live in, right? So at this point, I'm just excited because, you know, hate them or not, whatever you say about them, if they're putting the weight of the PlayStation behind it and they're really going forward with it, all the complaints that people talk about where, oh, too many tech demos, that goes away. That goes away. And for the record, the people that say too many tech demos are not looking, because Half-Life Alyx is the only thing anybody knows. That's absolutely, I consider that the radio hit. There are so many albums out there that nobody pays attention to because it's not.
That's all there is, right? Half-Life Alyx.
That's ridiculous.
That's it.
Even and you know the reason why people, like a few of us, shouted in horror when Insomniac was bought by PlayStation? Because Insomniac literally put Quest on the back for like 2 years. There are so many great Insomniac games on Quest. Not Quest, Quest. I mean Oculus. Not Quest.
So why don't
but
you
on
think
Rift.
Those will be on PSVR 2?
Well, that's where we're going. Like now that the PSVR 2 is a thing, I look forward to seeing them, you know, repurpose some of their old games, possibly give us the next version of those games on the PSVR 2. I'm happy to see they do that, because every time as you can tell, I'm a bit of a VR evangelist. Every time I tell somebody, oh, you really need to try that VR, they go, oh, I tried that Gear VR, it was trash. Oh, I tried that PSVR 1, it was trash. Yeah, because those are piece of shit hardware. Forgive my French. That's hardware that should not be used for VR. So you make a bad experience once, the first experience, and then nobody will ever be willing to try it ever again, right? The floor should be Quest 2. That's the floor. Not even the ceiling, not even mid. That is the floor because they've been able to successfully do that.
And I do want to move on from this topic, but
yes.
Does Quest 3 knock those base specs out of the water? Those PSVR 2
Well, obviously
specs.
it will.
Now, when do we get a Quest 3?
So the VR community, the VR insiders out there, actually it's not even an insider. Like there's a dude who works at PlayStation.
It's just a dude.
Meta. There's a dude who works at Meta. Like I forget his name. His nickname is Boz, and he works at Meta, and he always talks to the community. And he basically has come out and said that they have they have a Quest 3 planned, but before the Quest 3, they're looking possibly a Quest Pro, where it will be the next quote-unquote Rift, because the Oculus Rift was the first guy, right? And the Rift S, both were much higher in spec than the Quest was.
So it'll be designed to work on PC.
We're not sure if it'll just be designed to work on PC. What we do know for sure is it will be higher specs. It won't be the Quest price range. It'll be higher spec price range. I don't know if it'll compete with like the Valve Index or something. Possibly. It's one of those things where they're doing the Tesla Model S before they do the Model 3, right? Because the Quest, they've put so much time into it, and every time you turn it on, new features are added. It is amazing. It started from 72 frames per second. It's at 120 now, right? They keep adding tech to it. So while the Quest is working out
Pro, a Quest Pro would basically be these PSVR 2 specs, but maybe a little better, and call it a day. Like, okay, now you got 110 field of view.
But
now
remember
you got
though,
OLED. And,
but remember though, when they say Quest, they also mean bolted on Android device. So that Android device will also have to be spec'd up.
But if that's fine, so you'll put the 888 in there.
Yes, they'll put the 888 in there. Probably there's a special chip. It's not just the 888 for PCs, for Android devices anymore. They have a special for VR version that Qualcomm has
but whatever
created.
but that'll still be the 888 class.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying to you is the Quest 3 will be priced exactly as the Quest 2 is today. The Quest Pro will be priced higher. So they're kind of trying to get into the enthusiast market with the Pro, and then they'll release the 3 for those of us who have the 2 who may not want to upgrade to a Pro.
And I think
and that will be in
what
2024.
they've been able to do
2023
with what they've been able to do with the cables and the and AirLink. I don't think you see another Rift. I think it's all Quest going forward.
Well, but see again, if you've used AirLink, it's not ready for prime time.
Yeah, that's fine, but you can still use wired.
That's right. They will keep the option.
So there's no reason to make a Rift only. Like
no,
I think
when
the
I
Rift
say
is
Rift,
dead.
When I say Rift, I don't mean outside in tracking. You'll always have the inside out tracking. You'll always have the camera.
When I say Rift, I mean
PC only,
like a PS. Yeah.
No. That's dead. That is 100%
Quest
dead.
is the future. This is what I'm saying. It will be a Quest. Whatever.
Hybrid is the future. Yes, hybrid is definitely the future. But I mean, I guess the Quest 3, the quote unquote Quest 3, will be the one that everyone can buy, and that won't be until next year, 2023. But this year, the rumor is the Pro will be out, and that will be higher than the Quest price. Okay. So that's where we're going with it. But before we end this conversation, before we adjourn for our 2022, because we're close to 3 hours. We've been rocking it, and a lot of people have joined us. A lot of people we see a bunch of folks having great conversations in the chat. We appreciate you continuing to rock with us. We really appreciate you joining us for our maiden voyage of 2022. I will want to end this stream before. I don't want to end the stream before I talk about acquisitions in 2022. Last conversation.
Ring the bell. Drink the whiskey. He said acquisitions.
Acquisitions in 2022. Okay.
Acquisition bingo. Let's go.
That's right. And I want to get from you, good sir, what do you think is going to happen this year? I want to know. Because No. Oh, me first? Okay.
And then I will go. Yes.
Okay, sure. I honestly think this year we will see multiple acquisitions by Xbox. Not huge Bethesda level acquisitions. I'm not
No
thinking
publishers.
that. I don't think publishers.
So
but
Sonic
I do suspect
doesn't come home this year, is what you're saying.
I don't think definitely Sega will not be acquired in 2022. Hands down. I'm putting that down. I'm putting it down.
But are you saying that indefinitely?
I'm not saying definitely. I said in 2022. I didn't say it definitely.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But you're not saying never.
You are not leading this witness, sir. No, I'm not gonna go there with you. You're not leading this witness. All I'm saying is, in 2022, Sega will not be acquired, but there will be some interesting acquisitions that will join Xbox Game Studios. 2 or 3. I suspect possibly 2 or 3. Some big names. I'm holding out hope.
I need you to guess some names, and this is not an insider thing. These are guesses.
Well, I mean, this is not. You don't need to guess. You don't need to guess. Like it's actually pretty obvious, right? All the teams that they currently have contracts with making games for them. It's already been said by the real insiders that those are all considered test runs.
Name 3.
Name 3. Okay.
That you think are real possibilities.
Okay, 3. The IO Interactive. Real possibility.
Okay.
Asobo.
Okay.
Real possibility. The third one, the one that's making Contraband. Forget the name of that studio. Avalanche. Real possibility. Right? I'll even go further. The one that's helping them make Joanna Dark.
Square. You think Crystal Dynamics will get announced this year?
I'm not saying it'll get announced. You said real possibilities. I said that's a real possibility.
Real possibilities in 2022.
The first three, I consider them way more likely than Crystal D. Pause.
Okay.
What do you think?
So, I think that, remember, this is not like a publisher situation, and I do agree. And I think people that are looking for, even like me with Sega, and there are people that are looking for Take-Two, and some people are saying Capcom and things like that. Some people are saying WB Games.
Not anytime
right?
soon.
I think that what we saw with Bethesda was a once-in-a-generation thing. And those things don't happen overnight, or they don't strategically say, I'm going to wait for PlayStation to release a game or a service to go and buy a studio. That's not how these things work, right? That being said, I do think if there's another publisher available, I do think, before this generation's over, they will buy at least one more major publisher. But in terms of smaller studios, I do think you'll hear something this year, and I think you'll hear things about Sony this year as well. Because everybody says, okay, Microsoft, they bought Bethesda, and they picked up 7 new studios, but like Sony bought 5 studios this year or last year.
Screen Rant thinks they're going to acquire Sega in 2022. Get out of here with that. That's absolute trash. I do not agree.
Oh, that's that. You know what? I'm gonna add them to my favorite spot.
Screen Rant, get out of here.
Y'all
are drunk. Y'all need to go home. Y'all are drunk.
Okay. All right.
Y'all need to go home.
All right. I keep telling you, you're gonna have to fire me. I will be unbearable if they buy Sega. You don't understand. I already have it planned out. I'm gonna go drive. I'm going to drive to King's house, and we're going to get on a video on live together right from the phone, and we're going to name names of all the doubters. You're going to hear
I won't be in that name.
You're going to hear Saul's name.
I won't be my name.
J-Mo Money's name.
I'm not going to be in that list because I said it'll happen. I just don't think it'll happen anytime soon.
Glorious. When you see the Xbox logo, and then you see the blue speedster run past it.
Calm yourself.
And then it spins around, and then the Xbox logo turns into a coin. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there he goes. And then his beard shaves away, and he's this little 10-year-old boy, and he's like, yay, it's amazing.
Relax.
Breathe.
Breathe. Okay.
Woosah.
Now, but like I said, I don't think you're seeing that in 2022, though I do think you will see a publisher, and I think the one, my money is on Sega, not just because I'm a fan, just because it is the right price. And no, not in 2022. I'm saying
we're talking
the next
2022.
publisher they purchased. I
Okay.
understand that. I'm saying that
Okay.
won't happen, but when they do purchase a publisher
So
after
you're telling me the
2022,
next publisher will definitely be Sega, no other publisher. It'll have to be
that's
Sega.
what I'm that's what I'm saying. I think they are the
Interesting.
right
Okay.
price in terms of Microsoft's historical acquisitions. I think they fill holes. I think it gives them a foothold in a region that they have been trying to crack. I think it gives them the credibility there and more credibility in the gaming world writ large outside of the US. I think it gives them the mascot they need. I think it works for the brand historically, legacy, game sales wise. The only hindrance to this is the ultimate success of Sega. So if
They
Sonic
need you on your knees,
Frontiers is
otherwise
a
it might
hit,
not work.
easy. Um,
Pause.
if Sonic Frontiers is a mega hit, if Sonic the movie Part 2 is a mega hit, Sega may end up like Capcom and just they'll be good,
Like,
and
screw
they'll
you,
be
I'm
very
good.
difficult to purchase. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So that's the hindrance. So it's weird because I want them to do well, but not well enough that they could fend off a
Yeah.
Microsoft acquisition.
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, I think, and send me this link by the way. This looks interesting. But so in terms of the smaller studios, I do think that some of these deals may have happened already because remember when you're
We don't
not
know it
purchasing
yet.
a big publisher, you don't you don't have to announce that the same way you do with a Bethesda or something like that, right?
Yep.
So with a smaller studio like in E3 2018, they didn't acquire all of those studios a week before.
Yeah,
They had to
they just
acquire
announced
them
it that
over
day.
months, maybe a
That's
year
right.
before, and they waited to announce it. So these deals could be done, and I think the tea leaves, like you said, we're seeing with Hitman being in there, with them working on Avalanche, Contraband with Avalanche. So I think all those things, Asobo makes a lot of sense to me because of their flight sim deal, because of the Plague's Tale and Gamepass. They're a small studio. There are relationships there that they could work on. Techland is a Polish studio, right?
Yep.
So is CDPR, correct?
Yep. Indeed.
And but see, Techland, I don't know that I think that that's going to happen because there's the funding for game companies very, as I understand it, tied up with the government there.
With the government there.
And
Yep.
it's
And
very
CDPR
hard
also.
to
Yep.
it's very hard to make.
You
a
don't want to
purchase
go
of a
through that
company.
drama.
Yeah, right. We will when Sonic Frontiers is Sonic
At
Unleashed
least
2.0,
2.0. Yep.
I will be
Yep. J Mo Money, we'll have you on the show.
Woo!
You can be visually unbearable. You could just sit there and just dump on them all show. It'll be
but
hilarious.
no, I do think that there's a world where we have another E3 2018 where they sort of save whatever their
Unveil all
summer
the stuff.
showcase is
Yep.
and unveil it at that time, unless when you get closer to
Unless all
the
the
release
insiders
of
spill
some
all
of
the
these
beans.
games. Right. So if it's preemptive, or you could also save that for, hey, Game Pass is big. Everybody knows Game Pass is big. Sony's going to come out with Project Spartacus that is basically merging PS Plus and PS Now, which a lot of people have been saying before this was reported on.
Yep.
When people say, oh, Game Pass is dead because there's a competitor, you sure we're dead? Hold these new studios.
Yeah. For sure.
Right?
For sure.
So, and if a Techland is a thing, maybe you announce that right as the game is about to come out. I think E3 is the time where they save that so they can have another. Because if you announce we've picked up 3 or 4 new studios, right?
Yeah.
Along with actual gameplay footage of Redfall, which you can go and play next month because that'll be the time. And then you say, and here's gameplay footage of Starfield, which you'll get at the end of the year. And oh, by the way, here is Avowed, and here's what Everwild is really going to be, and here's the first gameplay.
We're still
of
talking
Fable.
Everwild, huh?
It's
I
gonna
think
happen.
Everwild will
what I'm
quietly
saying is,
disappear into the background.
when they show you all these things at E3 and then say, again, here's Starfield footage. This is what you're actually going to get. Here's Redfall, right, which you can play right now or in a week, right?
Yep.
And here is Avowed and Fable, and maybe
Smacking
now
you
I don't
across
think
the
we're going to
face
see
with
more
game
Hellblade
after
2.
game
So
after
all
game.
those things
Yes.
that they already announced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's Contraband. Here's what it looks like. And oh, by the way, you like Contraband? Guess what? Avalanche is first party now. Oh,
Yeah,
here's the first
yeah.
gameplay footage of
Project
Perfect Dark,
Dragon.
right?
Yep.
Project
Yep.
Dragon. Oh, by the way,
Yep. IO is now for.
these guys
And
are
by the
also
way,
right.
IO, and here's another weird thing with it. There's rumors, a speculation that GoldenEye is coming, right? Bond's anniversary is like the anniversary of the James Bond IP is this year, as is the anniversary of GoldenEye, and IO Interactive making a James Bond game, a new James
Right.
Bond game. So
Right.
they all
And
could be
then
kind of one of these things where all of a sudden
right.
one day there's no Xbox, there's no James Bond on Xbox. Another day, boom, it's all James Bond on Xbox. It could happen. Yeah.
Right. And so this is the thing. And then you see the first footage of Indiana Jones,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
True.
And so
True.
you see all these things on top of these studios now are first party, right?
True.
Right?
True.
So Asobo, Crystal Dynamics, along with the footage of Perfect Dark,
Yeah.
Project Dragon, along with the announcement of IO Interactive, Contraband, along with Avalanche coming home. I think that's the way they do it. So I don't think these deals could be done, but you don't, because you don't have to wait for the game to come out. If you're on a trial basis, you see how development is going, you see what they're producing, and there you go. So that's sort of what I think. And that's all I have for that. But I think if and when we see the next publisher, it will be Sega, and it will not be before 2023, 2024.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to see
I like that
the fruits
that
of
nice
the
stake in the
labor
ground.
of Super Game.
Sure. I like the stake in the ground you're putting there. That's good. Now, I've already said, those that are next. I foresee, if we see acquisitions, which I think we will in 2022, it will be
I'd
more
like to
studios.
see Crytek.
Oh man, it would. I'd be happy to see Crytek because they need some love. They need some love. They need attention. They need resources because they are technical geniuses that always seem to get shafted by not enough
saying
resources.
They're just weak enough to be acquired.
Clearly, yes. They have a great engine.
The lion goes after the slowest calf.
Yes, they have a great engine that shoots above its weight, but for some reason never has enough resources to shine like it should. There's a lot to like. They have the IP for Rise, Son of Rome. I mean, I can see Rise turning into a Assassin's Creed like franchise where we go to different time periods and tell different stories with that Rise kind of aesthetic. I can see that world.
That's not
and
what
have
I want. I want to see him get his revenge on the gods that was playing playing games.
Okay. Spoiler alert for Rise, Son of Rome. The dude dies at the end. How you gonna get revenge? Get out of here with all of that.
What are you talking about? He dies, and then we see that there's something supernatural here going on.
Yeah, but we're not gonna go back to supernatural land. Like, we don't need to do that. That goes beyond the pale.
Yes,
they stuck close. They stuck close to historical events. They can continue doing that, but we that's a conversation for another day.
I want to see him in the afterlife. That's all I'm saying.
Sure,
taking revenge.
Understood. But yes, no, I agree with you that if we see a big dollar publisher, it won't be this year. I think more smaller studios that are more tried and true names, might be very interesting. Might be very, very interesting. Rise, Quantum Leap. I appreciate that, Victor. That's very good. But all right,
Rise 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's right. So we're around to the bottom of the barrel here for the show. It has been absolutely awesome to come back and do this show again. Getting the muscle memory back. How we do this. The sea legs back. That's right. You will see more features be added to this show. We're going to really try and take it there. Really try and grow it technically and all of that. Again, if you have any constructive criticism, any kind of feedback, please leave it in the chat. Leave it in the comments when this thing is finished. We are always out here. I read every single one you guys leave. I reply back. I appreciate you guys checking us out and being in the chat room and joining us and always like responding whenever we have a new show to provide. I should now get used to telling y'all that this is also going to be on your favorite podcast services once this is up. Maybe not this episode because there's still a backlog of episodes that are being uploaded, but this will eventually join that.
Not to cut you off, but Pixel G is agreeing with me because he is one of the smarter people in our audience. And I suspect that you didn't have that highlight comment feature ready just because you knew somebody was going to agree with me.
Stop the ridiculousness. Obviously, we will have that highlight feature ready to go on a future episode. You know, we appreciate
just in
all
time
y'all
for somebody to agree with you, I bet.
Stop the ridiculousness. Just in time. You're just ridiculous. You get me off my game. Thank you, Lucius Augustus. Thank you, Doovie, Pixelbit G, everybody that's been in here. J-Mo Money, you in here. We see you. Keep the slander hot. Make sure you keep
J-Mo Money.
Keep the boot to the neck of Everborn Saga. We appreciate you, man. But no, we're about to get out of here. You know, we will hopefully be doing, you know, consistent episodes. We're going to be out here, you know, putting the show together, always trying to make it better, make it more useful. I will be, before we go, I will be on the Shop podcast tonight with PTK Blam and crew. We appreciate them sending me the invite. So I'll be out there podcasting as I do whenever I'm sending. See, you know, Pixel Bit G appreciating, you know, the entertainment value we present. You know, me, the voice of reason.
He's laughing with me.
Everborn Saga, the ridiculous one. You know, the slanderous one, just knifing fools left and right. This is what we do on this show. It's a beautiful.
That's what we needed in the gunk. I needed to knife people.
Stop it. This is what we do. So we will be back. You can catch me on the Shop podcast tonight, Mr. Everborn Saga. It's always great on this journey with you, good sir. Where you be this week? How can people find you? How can people chat with you?
Nobody will be able to find me. Well, you won't find me in spaces, but I will not be doing much gaming. I have to finish these scripts in January before we get hit with all these games in February. So I will be writing. I will not be doing much gaming. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I will be on Primetime Gaming on Monday as usual. That's the family. Yep, and on the real, I'm waiting for all of these kinks to get out with this setup, and we're gonna upgrade to the new on the real setup, which is looking very sexy, I might add. But we're gonna unveil all of that when all the tech is working sometime in early February. I'm thinking the first week of February is when we'll come back. We can talk about things like The Last Duel. I just want to talk about that movie for 1 second.
I keep meaning to watch that. I keep meaning to watch that. Maybe I'll put that on the to-do list.
Hold on a minute. Guess what? Coming to HBO Max.
Right
after I paid $20 for it. But that film, there's way more action in that film than they let on from the trailers. And it is expertly directed. Obviously, what do you call it? And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are back together in a movie. Ben Affleck's the most interesting character, and the final duel, that last duel, I'm telling you, it is up there with the Viper versus the Mountain. It is so good, and it is something you can watch with your lady because it is, you know, dealing with sort of medieval gender roles and things like that, and like the minutiae of law, and it's about the last time in recorded history that you could settle a court case by dueling to the death.
Interesting.
So
okay. So it has historical relevance.
Yeah, no, it's a true story.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a true story.
I will definitely be checking
really,
it out.
really good. And they tell the story from 3 different people's perspectives. So Adam Driver's perspective, Matt Damon's perspective, and I can't remember, and I apologize to the actress. I can't remember her name. But her perspective, Matt Damon's wife, and it really good action. That duel at the end is amazing, and it gives you a view into that world.
All right, well, we will check that out, and we'll hopefully be talking about it on The Real, right? Coming soon in February, yeah?
First week of February is what we are aiming for with the new upgraded background.
With the new hotness.
I am, very excited about that. I think it looks really good. Anybody that wants to see like a little clip, you can DM me. I'll show it to you, and I'll take any feedback, you know.
Yes. Again, we take feedback. We're gonna grow this stuff. We're gonna add more technical stuff to it. We'll add more highlights. We're gonna figure a way of getting the chat into the stream as well, so folks can see what you're saying and we can interact with you in a better way that way. Once again, I appreciate everybody for coming to check us out. 2022 will be bigger, better things for us here on the Gaming Circle podcast. But until we see you next time, this has been a great episode. We'll talk to y'all again soon. Peace.